I get there safe, like I really don't care. Like,
well, that's what submission is. That's what submission is that you
down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage. I
believe that society shapes how we view things and how we look at things in our life.
Make your own bed. And that's basically what Kevin Samuels is saying. His delivery is what people kind of throws people off. But basically,
aggressive or like violent, like where I think toxic masculinity is
no offense to men, that they also get this idea that, you know, women are just going to take care of them and everything is going to be like easy.
A domestic violence shelter, and he brought her up to be, you know, a $25,000.
Hell yeah, you need to judge in dating. It is what it is. You know, you can't not judge people just because you feel bad about it. Like, you need to know.
As much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand.
like, I'm sure everyone knows a woman that, you know, had sex all the time.
What's going on? Welcome back to CKQ Podcast. I'm your host, Clement, and we cannot introduce any panelists today because they are all running a little late, unfortunately. But I'll start off the show. If you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more content like this. And today I actually want to touch on a topic that I was talking about with my coworker. It was a topic that we started off, it was a light topic, really cool coworker, Portuguese guy. And we start off on the topic of how pretty much Black people are portrayed in the media. And of course, he was hesitant on talking about this topic because he's like, oh my God, there's a Black guy in front of me. I don't know. I don't want to say anything to offend him. But I've known this guy for a while. So I just told him, hey, listen, man, just say whatever it is you have to say. Like, I don't easily get offended, as well as I've known you for a long time. So I'm not going to be offended by anything you're going to say to me. So he told me, you know, listen, Black people are everywhere in the media. Like, you guys, like, there's no way that you can't turn on the TV channel without actually seeing a Black person. And I said, yeah, that's true. I actually agree with you that you can't turn on the TV channel without seeing a Black person. But typically, what do you ever see when you see Black people? It's definitely not like a lawyer. It's usually going to be some kind of entertainer, some kind of athlete, and unfortunately, some kind of criminal. And right there and then you saw it on his face, like, wait a minute. Yeah, typically that's what you're going to see. And I was telling him, like, as an African American, as a Black person, a lot of times you have to almost fight against that first before people actually want to get to know you. People see you first and they think, you know, athlete, drug dealer, criminal, entertainer. Most of us aren't going to fit into entertainer and athlete right away. So you have to be a drug dealer. You have to be somehow instantly gain cool credits just by being a Black person. And I was telling him, it's you as a Portuguese guy, you have a lot of leniency just to be a regular person. You could just be an average, everyday working citizen. But the average Black guy cannot be average at any turn, really. Like, he can't just live a regular life. He has to be something beyond what he just is, which is a regular person, which most people are. But going on to that, rounding off from that, I do want to do a quick reaction. So I was going to say, you guys mute your mics. So fair use, fair use.
Frank Rich, who again is a fairly liberal columnist, and wrote a piece, I think it was in the New York Times, right after or right before the election, where he said that, basically racism is not a problem anymore because when white folks get to know black folks, well, their biases and their fears subside. Now, number one, I'm not sure that's true. But secondly, even if it were true, the truth is, given the history of racism, spatial segregation, residential isolation, the fact that 85% of white folks live in communities with virtually no people of color around, even if he were right, it wouldn't matter because most white folks won't get that opportunity to actually form close, intimate friendships or connections with people of color. And unfortunately, if it isn't happening, the only way we get to know folks of color is via media. So maybe we see Barack Obama on television coming into our living rooms every night. And over an 18-month to 2-year period, we're able to say, yeah, I sort of like that guy. He seems really capable and really bright. Maybe I wasn't sure at first, but given 2 years, he was able to overcome, maybe my first impression. But the only other folks we're seeing in the media are either folks who are sort of superstars on the one hand, or criminals on the other hand. Those are the black folks we typically see on TV. They're either like mega millionaire athletes or entertainers, or they're the folks doing a perp walk on the 6 o'clock news that the cops have just gone arrested and haven't even let them put a shirt on before cuffing them and bringing them out in front of the cameras. If the only people you see regularly are superstar millionaires and thugs, for the average person, they can't relate to either of those, right? The average person of color can't, and the average white person can't either. The superstar, you're likely to envy their position, and the thug you're afraid of. And envy and fear are not particularly good human emotions upon which to base some personal connections or intimate relationships. So I think that's what we're dealing with. Barack Obama or Bill Cosby or Oprah Winfrey or a handful of people of color, we're able to get to know them, or at least we think we know them, via media. But for average everyday white folks and for average everyday black and brown folks, the ability to really get to know each other and overcome those implicit biases is a lot more rare.
CJ and Danielle, what's up, guys? How you doing?
What's cracking?
Thank you for coming up to the panel, man.
Oh man, I'm chilling, man. I said let me tune in, see what CKQ talking about this evening.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We're talking. We're hitting on how really the black people are portrayed in the media. Yella, welcome to the panel, man.
What's up, y'all? I just make sure I wasn't on mute. My bad.
Nah, you good. So let's drop the first question to the panel. Black men in media are entertainers, athletes, or criminals. Can this image be reclaimed? And if you disagree with those three, then let me hear it, Danielle. You're muted, Danielle.
The TV that I watch don't be having nothing to do with like actual people being criminals or anything like that. Like I don't like real life stuff. That's too depressing for me.
Okay.
So I watch like scripted stuff.
Okay.
And the scripted stuff that I watch is on like Hallmark Channel.
Oh, Hallmark.
Yeah. And so on the Hallmark Channel, black men are presidents and lawyers and handyman and just falling in love, living a regular life in upper New York where it's snowy.
Maybe I need to start watching Hallmark Channel. Maybe I need to get cable and watch Hallmark Channel. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, so
okay. So generally, then you don't really agree with the idea that that's how black men are portrayed.
Can you say that one more time?
Well, from Danielle's point of view, I'm asking her, she doesn't really agree with the fact that black men are in media portrayed just entertainers, athletes, or criminals. From your perspective, it's your perspective. This is what you see on a regular. So
I mean, because I don't watch like the news or anything like that. I don't watch nothing that's like negative. So
damn, I want to live in your bubble. I really do.
I mean, you got a choice to watch something that's,
CJ, what are we talking about,
man? Yeah, it can be changed once blacks start owning their own media and they start rebuking the nonsense that's on a major scale, yeah. But I'm more on the side of Danielle. I really don't watch TV that much. And the TV that I do watch is be like Marvel, or I'm watching like Addiction. What's that show? Intervention with like Dee Dee or 600 Pound Life, and it's mostly white people on there. So like 90%, 90 to 95%. I mean, I'm just keeping it real.
Okay.
But I don't give into that, like I said, because I know that's not real life.
Okay.
I know. I mean, like I said, every week I talk to fly successful black people, so I tend not to care for that. I don't watch reality TV. I don't watch. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like my dose of hood stuff every now and then, hood movies and everything like that every now and then. But I know that's fiction. You know what I'm saying? I know, but I know art portrays real life, but at the same time, I don't walk around and act like every black person is like that, because I know that's not true. That's ridiculous. And they know it too. The man who was talking, they know that. Like,
Yeah.
stop it. So, like, come on.
Well, I mean, I don't know, because if people are in middle of America that don't really see black people, you think they think the same way?
I feel like we live in an age, like if you get arrested and if you didn't know something, the people are going to be like, ignorance of the law is no excuse. I feel like we live in an age where social media is everywhere, and there are successful, well-to-do blacks that are not athletes and that are not criminals and that are not rappers and all that kind of stuff all over the place. If you're looking for something, you can find it. Maybe they're just not looking, and maybe it's not their job to look. So, I mean, I think they know that they out there. They just, they just choose not to deal with them.
Okay. Yella, if you're there.
All right. So can y'all? I'm gonna make sure y'all can hear me.
Yeah, we hear you.
All right. So as far as the perception in the media with black men, I mean, it is what it is, man. Because we talking about the media. The media not gonna cover the everyday person. You know what I mean? So yeah, of course, our black men is gonna be the rappers. We're gonna be the entertainers. We're gonna be portrayed as the criminals, because that's the lane that those black men choose to go be in. You know what I mean? Now, one thing I do try to stay away from is the whole trying to discourage kids or like young black men to be athletes. Let the athletes be who they are, all right? Because beyond anything, them brothers worked hard to be there. You know what I'm saying? They ain't just get there by accident. They didn't get there because they was trying to fill a quota. They had to accomplish something. You know what I'm saying? So for them, cool. But kind of like the last two responses, I get why they don't watch it. Like, I don't watch Power, I don't watch Empire, I don't watch none of that, because those are the worst portrayals of us that could possibly be on TV. But that's all you see of us, and that don't really have nothing to do with us having our own media. We can also stop acting in them shows. We can stop writing them shows. We don't have to just put that out. But that's you know what I'm saying? We can also stop the consumption. We can tell people to stop watching it. You don't have to, you know what I'm saying? We're never going to get to that point and I'm just going to be honest with you, because it's not even regular white people that run media. It's a special brand. You know what I'm saying? It's the top shelf white folk that we can't get up there, because they already in it. You know what I'm saying? That's they years and years in it. No, I'm just being straight up, bro. I'm just being straight up with you. Ain't no way we finna get to that point to where we'll have a media source to influence the world on that level.
But
Let's just keep it.
Look how big social or YouTube is moving a lot of, I want to say, black media forward. You know, Kevin Samuels kind of started it, but I would say there's a lot of people starting to move the needle a lot further. What do you think?
I mean, yeah, but shit, even when you get a situation where somebody do move the needle, we're gonna find a way to shit on them. The exact name you said right there could have changed the whole outlook on black media. But guess what? Instead of hearing what he said in response, everybody came up with every reason to not listen to him. So
I would say that didn't really stop. I mean, look, Nicki Minaj was just called in on the show today.
That's a super plan, bro. Super plan.
Even if it's super plan, it's still getting that image out there. And him, don't you think an image like that would be a better look?
No, the better look would have been if Nikki internet would have been working. How the hell you got all that damn money and you can't get no good signal? Like, quit playing. Like, come up off that money and pay for a real phone plan. That was the embarrassment of the whole deal. But no, like
You don't
also,
think it was when he asked her, rate yourself between 1 to 10 and you can't use 7, and the first number she picked was 7?
I mean, we ain't never claimed her to be no scholar either. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I'm saying. It's not really our doing. You know what I'm saying? These people choose to be the worst example of us, man. And if they want to be bought, we can't stop it. We could just try to, you know what I'm saying? I guess try to change it. I guess try to perceive something different. Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm super jaded on this shit because I don't think it's ever gonna really like ever change or none of that because people gonna sell out.
I
You know what I'm
disagree.
saying?
I think it's changing, and I think it's very good examples of it changing. I don't know if y'all familiar, but like I follow a guy named Tariq Nasheed. Dude literally raised $1 million to build a museum. He's had #1 best-selling documentaries, films all over the place. The thing is, when people try to save the world at one time, it usually doesn't work. And that's the thing people try to do. But I do think it is changing, very much so.
I mean, but yeah, that's like you said though. That's one person, man. And at the same time, if we looking at the question, it as dope as that sound, that still ain't gonna whatever project he doing ain't gonna override the NBA playoffs. Whatever project he doing ain't gonna stop people, ain't gonna supersede the season premiere power. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think?
I
You
get
don't
what
think?
you're saying. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I'm just saying it's. I get what he's saying, but that's gonna be on the individual. You know what I mean? If we gonna try to change media and the perception of us on the whole, we gonna lose.
Welcome to the panel, John.
Hey, what's happening?
Work was stressful, I see.
Nah, man.
Well, black men in media are entertainers, athletes, or criminals. If you agree with it, can this image be reclaimed? If not, then explain, I guess.
So, when you say black men in media, like I need you to give me some context behind because the way it's worded, do you mean black men that are on
Portrayed.
TV, or you mean how we portrayed?
Yeah, how we're portrayed in media.
Shit, as athletes and criminals.
Entertainers, athletes, or criminals.
If you're talking about the common black man, we portrayed as criminals. Like, period. That's how they always try to portray us. Every time you get us on the thing, it's always in a negative light. We either getting shot by the police or we were involved in something. They make a big deal about it. So we're portrayed as criminals. And can the image be changed? I mean, a lot of times we spend all our we try to live up to the damn image because the image that's the image somewhere it's adopted that having that image is cool. You want to be a gangster, you want to be a thug, you want to be a hoodlum, you want to look like this nigga that just got shot. Have you not looked at do you not see the commonality? I know it's a big thing, but everybody who got shot by police, not everybody, but a lot of them had some common looks about them that were fucking common other than the fact they were black. What did they look like? Them motherfuckers didn't look home safe. They didn't look like, oh, I bet I could leave my child and have him watch him and go in the store. Let's call a fucking duck a duck, bro. They did not. Did they look like somebody you would approach and ask direction for? Keeping it 100. Not trying to fall into this. oh, he a sellout nigga. He just talking about his people. Nah, nigga, did he look like a nigga you would ask? Be honest, if you was lost in the fucking city and one of them niggas, would you go up to that nigga and ask for directions? If your answer is no, that's why he got shot. Because the nigga looked dangerous. So if you're a white cop that ain't never been around that shit, you probably would have shot him too. If he move any kind of way, you scary.
But what about the blacks that don't look dangerous that get shot?
I ain't seen too many of them. Who didn't look dangerous? They got shot. Like me, little kid.
John was shot in his own home. He had on a suit.
Yeah, dude did get shot in his own shit
with a suit on, eating ice cream.
Damn,
wasn't dangerous to me.
Yeah,
didn't sound dangerous to me.
Where was this?
It's about a year and a half. Amber Geiger, she was the cop that shot him. This was about a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, the one that she thought it was her apartment, right?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, she went to the floor below instead of the one above and thought it was her apartment. So the first thing she did when she saw him, she shot him.
Right, with a suit on, eating ice cream.
And then his brother hugged her and forgave her in the court.
And so did the judge, the black judge too.
I'd have came down in ghostly form and slapped everybody in that motherfucker. How you gonna hug her after she done shot me out? A ghost slap the shit out of her.
Hugged and cried with her too. Yeah, I remember that.
Man, bro.
And the one that with the case where the kid got shot in the car, she talking about she screamed taser. Well, she didn't scream taser or something. She shot this big old loud ass gunshot. She talking about some taser. I'm like, whatever. That one, that incident right there was another one where that could have been avoided. You shouldn't even been scared in that situation. But so the point was not to bring up the shooting. What the point is, if you look like who you are, I'm gonna believe you. You can't look a certain way. This whole, well, we shouldn't judge that. You crazy as fuck. Everybody judges. Judging is a part of your cognition. That's how you know when you're in a dangerous situation or not, because you judge the fucking what's going on around you. You judge the people around you. You read the body language. You just know. You understand what I'm saying?
When you're talking about that, black people in general just have a negative portrayal in general. We don't have a good light shine on us. We're always portrayed at the worst possible times. Isn't it hard for the average black person to even look like a safe person? Then we have to now go over the top, overboard, just to.
I mean, CJ looks safe. I'd ask CJ for directions. I'd ask you for directions.
I'm not walking down a dark alley with CJ in it, man. Come on, man. Fool like he jump out on you, man. I'm just playing. I'm just playing with you.
No, I get it. But I think that's dangerous though, like that aspect, because what the dude who got killed jogging, he was jogging. He had on workout gear. Like, I don't think at this point it's not about how you look. You can look as unintimidating as possible, and you can still get got.
Because of how the media has portrayed us, bro. It's
I kind of get what he's saying. It's like that. The average black man has been portrayed as a threat, right? I get what he's saying.
Overall,
yeah.
That they believe that. Like, they believe that I don't care who you run into. This nigga black, he got some superhuman shit that we can't deal with. Like, this nigga, if he jump, he gonna really jump. If he grab you, you really are just fucked. Like they really portray us like that, because you got we've shown off how much rhythm we have. The average black kids got rhythm. You put a beat on as a fucking baby, they can find that beat and be right on time with it. The coordination. So we athletic, so we know that. And then they deal with them and they look at what happens in the prison system on how strong they are, how strong we are, right? And then we always portrayed as like the worst people, like with the worst hearts. Like, we just don't give a damn. Like, we just savage. Like, there's no nice black men. Like, there's no nice black people at all. Soon as you, like, a white dude, hey, listen here, buddy, I'm not taking this shit. Okay, sir, please calm down. But if a nigga say, hey, goddamn it, put your hand, hey, one more word, I'll kill you. Why? Is that not fear?
Unless he got on a dress or something like that. They show like him like that. So it's either the drug or the dress, the thug or the dress. Which one is it?
Where do you think this whole push toxic masculinity? You aim that shit at black men who were masculine and ain't with all that funny shit. You aim that at us.
You want to
raise your voice, you toxic. Oh, he toxic.
Okay. If we're gonna talk about anything, if we're gonna look at the three categories he put up, right? So we're looking at entertainers, athletes, and criminals, right?
Yeah.
Like, are we talking about? I mean, criminals seem to be the only bad thing as far as those three, but y'all just sparked something else. Now I don't know if he was good to it. I really don't want to jump ahead, but if any way black men get portrayed in the media is absent.
Oh, we definitely get portrayed as that.
Now, hear me out. I'm gonna tell you about commercials, because I pay a whole lot of attention to these commercials. Right? Look at the family dynamics in these commercials. It's either it's either A, a straight white couple, B, it's an interracial couple with a black woman,
or C, two men,
or C, two black men.
Yep. So we either absent or we gay. But it's not, you don't see, if you see the interracial couple, it's a black woman with a white husband in a big old nice ass house. If you can find a black couple, they're in a little tiny house. And if you think that shit is not playing, you're crazy. I could have majored in fucking media psychology. They got a whole team of them hoes. They tell them what they trying to do, and they get deep into fucking cognitive programming, because that's what it's called. It's called cognitive programming, to reduce the level of dissonance that a person feels about a certain thing. So homosexuality is gonna fuck with most people's cognitive dissonance, because you're raised to know that shit is like out there. That's something else. That's some other shit, right? But if I put you and expose you to it enough, you become desensitized to where you just don't give a fuck. Like you just don't care at all. But in the same time, that would be a good thing, because then homosexual men wouldn't get bullied and shit like that so much, right? People would be more understanding. That's a good thing. But what happens when you start crossing over into cartoons? Then now I'm starting to ask, like, what's your real agenda? Like, what are you really trying to do?
It's crazy that I watch a lot of ads, being that I be on like YouTube and Twitch and all these other ads just run all day, right? Right. Last time I seen the ad with a straight black couple was in a cartoon ad a couple of days ago for like Zillow or something like that. They was animated. It wasn't even real. They was animated.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's weird, bro. It's weird because, and this ain't to be on nothing else, but even with Clement mentioning how Kevin Samuel should be a better portrayal, right? Check this out. You notice how it's so easy for anybody to disqualify a black man in media's opinion by just calling him gay?
Yeah, because of black. Well,
but guess what? The LGBT community doesn't say shit about it. Now think about it like this: they want to be treated a certain way to where things said about them isn't used out of context. Remember, and let's just keep it a bean. When we used to play the game or whatever and mess up, be like, "Oh man, that's gay." You know what I'm saying, or something like that. You used to say it in a negative way. Folks used to say it in a negative way. Negative. Now you don't really hear it like that, right? But for some reason, it can be used towards black men in a negative way to discredit us. It's basically used as a slur against us to discredit anything we got to say.
Right.
But nobody thinks that's a problem.
I wanna do something real quick. I wanna have you guys watch a quick clip, and then I want to throw the next question at you guys. So, do me a favor, mute your mics, I want you to listen to this. What the heck? Oh, is my StreamYard crashing? Can you guys still see me?
You good?
Oh, my freaking thing is acting up right now. Yo, StreamYard, come on, man. I paid my bill. What the hell's wrong with you?
I'm doing the whole music for you.
It was beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
You're great, great. Encore, really.
Check me out. Album on Spotify is called Random Ass Songs That We Know, but we can't remember where we know them from. Y'all come check me out.
All right. So here we're gonna do. We're gonna do a quick reaction to the Lapeef Network. This was a Monday clip from Kayla and Kay. Fair use. Fair use.
Yeah.
So,
that just hurt my feelings. That hurt my feelings.
It's very.
If y'all let me get more context on what I was saying.
No, wait, hold on, because
go ahead.
but just we want to make sure you address the things that we're saying, because that was really problematic. The issue is when you juxtapose, like when you put together as opposing ends of the spectrum, either we're going to be the thug or whatever, or we're going to be the white way. That indicates or insinuates that those are two opposing things, and that white people are not the thugs, and that like black people are. Like, we got to clear that up. So go ahead and address that.
I agree with both of y'all what y'all are saying, because it's white thugs just as well as they trust me, they is the thugs, but realistically in the life that we are living, when we think of thugs, we think of black. When we think of something productive, we think of white. That's just the facts of it. It's like when I first met my daughter, she was 3.5. I met her on her 4th birthday. And as she started talking and stuff, because she grew up she was from an area where my child's mother, her mother watching it now, but she moved to what we call a white area. And my daughter started acting like them. And I'm just gonna be funky with it. I kind of didn't like it. I didn't like my daughter talking all proper. I didn't like my daughter acting all dingy. I didn't like my daughter. It's almost like we only.
Dingy? What's that?
Well, like ditzy, all prepsy, and then like how white folks act.
Prep.
How we was taught that white folks act. I'm not gonna say how they act for real.
Stereotype of white.
So that do black people choose to carry the poor image portrayed in media? Do we choose to carry the poor image portrayed in media? Neek, let's start it off with you.
That's if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I hear you. Hear you just fine. There
It's
you
the first
go.
time I came on and you can hear me.
And you were prepped and everything. Look at that. How you doing?
No. I rushed to put all this thing together, okay?
It worked out well.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course.
So I had a split second to look at the question. So it's, do black men choose to portray? I think that some of us do. Some, well, not us, but some black men do choose to do that because the environment that they in. But some don't. I think, but it's kind of like put on us because of the media, and that's what you see, and that's, you know, it's like sometimes you feel like, okay, the black man is the most hated, wanted person or hated person in the world, and they people just portray them as that, so they take it in as, okay, that's who I am, even though that's not who they are, because that's what they see all the time. They seen it on TV, they seen it at school. Um, they just seeing how everybody deal with the black man, so they like, okay, if that's how they want me, that's how I'm going to be. It's not always like that, but I think we do that. They do that.
Okay, so what do you think of the clip? Did you see it?
Yeah, some of it.
Yeah. So what do you think?
Um, I seen some of it, so I didn't hear everything she said. I was see, but the little bit that she did say is that is true. There are thugs in all races, so, but it's just not portrayed. It's not just not put out there in the front, or I mean, the forefront. That's all I heard in the clip.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
John, what do you think? What do you think of what Jay Prince was saying? My guy Jay Prince over there.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it's thugs in all races, man, but that shit is glorified in our race. It's glorified in our race. We glorify that. We glorify that. You don't listen. Just watch how I told you. Watch how kids interact with other kids, bro. You understand? Like, how many white boys do you hear calling the damn kid who good at math a nerd? I'm gonna wait on that. They just don't fuck with little Timmy. You feel me? But in our race, we get a smart ass black kid. This nigga feel like he needs to fucking make bad grades just so he can fit in. Like they don't want to. There's like you a lame. You a
No one wants
square
to be
ass
lame.
nigga. You know what I'm saying? You ain't know you ain't gonna be shit. You think you better than we are. No, that's not the case. I just want to shut up. Shut up before I take your lunch money. Fuck boy. You little fuck boy. You got an A on the test, huh? You get picked on. You get bullied. And that's the shit. This shit is real. This shit is real. It happens all the time. You are not glorified at all for doing the right fucking thing. It's only been one time, and it was because these dudes, the kid I was telling you about on another podcast that actually went to Harvard, black kid, right? You don't hear shit about that, huh? I saw it on CNN, but then nobody make a big deal about it. None. When no white boy gonna beat him out like that. This nigga had like a 4.2 something, scored perfect on the ACT and the SAT. He ain't need no equal shit. This nigga got in here because he just took your damn seat. He was just smarter than you. This nigga on the international baccalaureate program, IB program. If you know anything about IB, you have to take a couple of foreign languages. You have to take Cal 1 and 2. And this nigga had a 4 point plus. But he lived in the worst horrid conditions, straight in the middle of the projects. I forget, I think he might have been in Chicago. But the gangsters watched over this dude. Like, you couldn't fuck with him. Like, you couldn't fuck with him. You want to catch a bullet, that just fuck with him and you would catch one. They had some that would walk him home. Like, they would walk him to the bus stop, help his mom out. They made sure that kid got up out of there. And that's what made me proud. The fact that he went to Harvard and did so well, and the fact that it was actually gangsters who stepped up and went and took that extra step and being that father figure, not in a negative way, trying to get him to join them, but to see that he was something special. He was different, and just let him go on and do him, and not make him feel like what he was doing was bad. or that he shouldn't be doing this. So, but for the most part, we glorify it. The girls love it. Women chase after them dudes. Pookie and Ray Ray is in. I don't want him. He too nice.
He lame.
He too nice for me. But then these other races, I ain't gonna get nobody stirred up, but I said what I had to say. But these other races, they jump all on them nice niggas. That's who the fuck they want to marry. Oh, they finna fuck them some Pookie and Ray Ray. That's a whole fact. They finna get some of that. But I was slumming when I did that. I was in my whole phase. I'm not fixing to marry that. I'm just gonna fuck it. No, we marry the shit. We fuck it. We marry it. We hold on to it. I'm gonna hold my dude down. He got 15 years, girl. I don't care. I'm gonna be there for my dude. That's my dude. Get beat all upside the fucking head, everything. And we just sit. They just sit there. They sit there, knowing good and well you just dating a nigga who has no marketable fucking ability at all. Like he's just not gonna, girl. He working on his mixtape. We gonna be on there with Beyonce and say, no, the fuck you not ever. The chance of this nigga becoming famous is slim and none. You got a whole. But that's what we go for. That's now that right there. I believe is a mixture of what Yannick was talking about. Because some of the women been forced to believe that that's all they got to choose from. That like that's it. You better think back to when you was in high school and find that little motherfucker with them glasses and go see what he doing. That's all you got to choose from. All of us ain't locked up. All of us is not doing time. All of us don't have a criminal record.
All of us aren't down low.
Ignoring the ones who trying to talk to you and immediately classifying the motherfuckers as a lame. So what? He a fucking nice dude. What the fuck do you want? What do you want? You don't know how nice he's respectful. Don't confuse nice as being a pushover. Just because he's nice and respectable, that doesn't mean that he a fucking pushover. You push the right buttons, this motherfucker will probably raise up. And you don't know how he is with a dude because you're not a dude. How you expect him to walk around fucking, what up, my nigga, and punch you in the arm or some shit? What he got to do? He got to go get face tats? Put some teardrops right here, sag his pants a little bit for you to think he's damn dangerous or something.
You got to sag. You got to.
Because I know a couple. Let me tell you something. When you get all up in here and all this right here, man, that's don't fuck with me paint. That's what that is. That right there is. I want to intimidate you to the point to please don't fucking say nothing to me. I want to look scary as hell, so you just don't say nothing to me. That's just because you all tatted up. Don't mean you tough nigga. That just mean you tatted up. That's all that fucking mean. Because you cross me, we'll try you out either way. That's just the way that's gonna have to go down.
Yella, what are we saying, man? What do you think? What do you think of the little clip?
She had a point. So I mean, I don't take none of them two chicks say serious. No way. You know what I'm saying? But as far as the question though, I like the question because, all right, for the most part, yeah, and this is just excluding all the people who know to act like they got some sense, right? So that's clearly the people like sitting here with us. You know what I'm saying? But if we look at media and we look at the people who choose to live that life, right, to where they are covered by the TV channels and, you know what I'm saying, seen and all that, if those are the ones that are like the representatives, they need to really shuffle the deck, get some more folks out there. You know what I mean? Because that is why they think we are the way we are, right? So let's look at it like this, right? And I don't even know, and this is just on some completely different stuff. Like, cause I don't even know if Cardi B even count as a black woman. I don't know how to dice shake with that.
I kind of,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't count her. Me personally, I don't count her.
Me neither, right? But check it out. She's so popular, right? Like she's mainstream popular. Sit down with politicians having influence over the election popular, right? She's married to a black man. Black man, Offset. Offset's a notorious cheater. He is the worst example of what a husband should be. He openly cheats on his wife. You know what I'm saying? He always getting caught. You know what I'm saying? He got this crazy ass lifestyle. It's weird. You know
What
what I'm
about
saying?
people that would say that, even with all that, he still did the right thing and married her before the end?
Man, look. First of all, kids gonna come whether you married or not.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? We could say that. We could say, you know what I'm saying, married before you carry and all that. That sound good. But if you around a woman long enough, you gonna make a baby with her.
A baby's just gonna happen.
Yeah, right. A baby's inevitable. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. So, and for him to marry her, I mean, yeah, I guess that Hollywood shit, and that's another thing. Like, I think our people at that level put a little bit too much stock into what those people do, especially when it comes to how our relationships are supposed to go. So if I'm gonna say anything, like I think that's where we getting it wrong, because a lot of folks be trying to compare what they see, like the Instagram pictures and all of this other stuff. Like the black folks who deciding to be out there and represent us need to reel it in, like for real. You know what I mean? It's too much negativity surrounded by us, and then like John said, they don't even want to represent they don't even want to recognize the good black people.
Well, good is boring.
If that's the case, you know what I'm saying? The black people actually putting forth effort.
Finish.
You know what I mean? Like I can't remember the young lady name. I can't remember her name, but she was a driver in NASCAR. You know what I'm saying? She was the first black female driver in NASCAR. Nobody got behind her. You know what I'm saying? Nobody got behind her because that's NASCAR. That's some white people shit. So, shit. See what happened when you get behind? Look at Tiger Woods. You see what happened when you get behind one of us? When all us get behind one of us, and you know what I'm saying? I know he say cablation and for shizzle. You know what I'm saying? I got you. But still, you know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what carried it, man. You look at these black girls that's been excelling in the gymnastics and Olympics. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, man. Like Simone Biles, what she's doing as far as like that, that's what you're supposed to do, because gymnastics is not traditionally a black person sport. You look at it historically. We had a couple good Americans, but for the most part, that's been like the Russians and the Chinese, and that's all them doing that. Mm-hmm. So for her to dominate like that, that's the following that she got now. That's what we should have got behind that girl doing NASCAR. Like, it's a lot of these situations that people miss out on. Yep. That they so focused on what celebrity chick got.
No. No!
Oh, he making the government shut him down. The government was just like, "Yo, this man's speaking too much facts."
Oh my God! They
too much facts. It's a little too real.
To his house, bro.
Too real.
Man.
Danielle, still available.
The new lash is out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well.
Oh, they just done got him all the way. They done abducted Yellow.
Damn, they stole him.
They done came and got him.
Yellow, you will be missed. Hopefully,
I can't believe it, Bobby.
Danielle, what's going on?
Nothing, chasing my kids to bed.
All right, y'all. My bad. I lost my signal. My bad, y'all.
No worries. Yeah, we thought you got abducted or something. You were speaking too much facts.
I'm saying you gotta be careful. That's why I keep it dark in here.
That's it. You got Neo on the wall. You're the one, huh?
I mean, nah, I don't want that role. I'm cool. I'll be number 3, something like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm cool.
Top 5, top 3.
Right. Yeah, I don't want number 1. That's the people end up with red dots on them. I'm cool.
Man, that kind of messed up your flow though. So
No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, it's pretty much what I'm saying is we could change it. We could change the perception and the poor image that people do try to carry around. But it's just we gotta get behind the right ones. You know what I mean? We can't let we can't keep supporting bullshit.
yeah, I mean, there's some. I know Danielle usually on her Instagram. She's always reposting like very positive. I believe Neek as well. Usually very reposting like good like marriages, funny marriages, like reposting like good black couple media. But a lot of people are going to repost Nicki Minaj going on Kevin Samuels or you know some not really positive. But hey, I think the more we keep doing things like this, the more we keep getting the message out there. Like, listen, as Black people, if we keep portraying better images of ourselves, then that's how we can reclaim our image, in my opinion.
Yeah, we need to portray an image of teamwork and unity, and like one of the he when Yellow was making his point, I thought about something, right?
Wait, hold on to that. Hold on to it. I want to get Danielle in here because she hasn't went yet.
Okay.
So,
talk to me.
I was chasing my kids around. Y'all didn't hear how loud my kids is today?
They were.
That's why
loud.
my camera been off. Because my kids been acting the fool today. I don't know what's wrong with them tonight.
Oh.
So I really just lost my whole train of thought. I'm so steaming over here right now.
No worries. We're gonna let you sit there, fume a little bit. We're gonna go back to John. Let him get that thought out if he still remembers it.
So we would sit. I was This was one thing what Yellow was talking about on a regular level, and then I started watching. I watched Vivian Thomas, right? I watched that movie about Vivian Thomas. And I noticed how blacks move, and I watched some other old movies, and I noticed how blacks move. And we just don't have that no more.
What do you mean?
Like, we work together. The older ways, bro, we work together. Like, you spent money in your community. Segregation was the worst thing to happen. We should never have segregated. That wasn't even what Brown versus Board of Education was even about, bro. Brown versus the Board of Education had nothing to do with segregation. They made it about that. Plessy versus Ferguson, separate but equal, was a solid ruling if you would have kept up with the equal part. Brown versus the Board of Education was about textbooks. You can't be giving 12th graders 6th grade textbooks. So, I mean, if they wouldn't look at how many educators couldn't work in a white school and how poor blacks was like, why do you think there was a Black Wall Street at one time? Because the fucking money stayed in the black community. That's why it was possible. When you segregated, the shit got dispersed. Why you think Latinos be rocking, bro? You open a Latino business, bro, they ain't fucking with nobody else but him. Period. Nigga, taco trucks be making money. Now, granted, a lot of people shop there, but I promise you, they people shopping there, period.
They get all my money.
How many, just next time you go to a Taco Bell line, you see how many motherfucking Latinos you think is in the line. That may possibly, I doubt you're going to see some. Because they know somebody that they can support besides Taco Bell. Especially when it's not even traditional. Nothing about it don't even taste traditional, right? They support each other. But then it comes to the other point I was going to make was this. Even when I had both businesses, right? Even in my coaching business now, it was a woman that I had a consult with 2 days ago on one of my off days, a few days ago on one of my off days. I talked to her, child was with her. She was she had got recommended by a mutual friend of ours, right? Who this mutual friend happens to be, she's white. Okay. And her little boy hadn't been diagnosed with autism, but he had some of the signs, like a lot of them.
Are y'all gonna go to bed now, though? Y'all
And
still
then,
talking?
so she was like, she suspected it too, this and the third. And I told her, well, if you get a diagnosis and that's the case, I can still, I can still help you with the behaviors that are associated with that. Oh, you can? Oh, yeah, that's great. You got a car, blah, blah, blah. So I'm thinking like she legit. Nope. She got diagnosed. She went to a specialist, and I'm not mad about that. I'm not. You feel me? But this woman I'm talking about was a black woman, right? Could have gave me a courtesy call. Could have called back, right? But she went running. She had to find her a white specialist, and she found him. She found him, and that's good for her. That's cool. But then a white friend of mine called me just last night and asked me, "Hey, ain't you about to graduate? Like, we need your help. We're going to do this. We're going to pay you this. And I know you, when you studying something, got to do with, how to help autistic children." I was like, yeah, but these my white folks. Why is that? I'm just asking a question. Why are we like that? Even when I had my mechanic business, most of the majority of my customers was white.
Well,
and
I
did
think
a great job of word of mouth.
I think black people were usually trying to look for that like an easy way out. Oh, help me out. Oh, you got me. Oh yeah, I got you. I got you. Oh, you're gonna help me out, right? You're gonna hook me up. Come on, like we're
Nah, this was more like a matter of like, nigga, you don't think I know what the fuck I'm talking about. And I take huge offense to that because I do know what the fuck I'm talking about. You feel me? But that's okay. Because the people who rock with me have faith and they know. So that's really all I care about for real. But why is it? Why you couldn't at least give me an opportunity and to show you that I do or I don't know? Why would you assume that I just don't?
Is my mic still working?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. I was just wondering, why is that? See, you want the image to change. Why don't you help change that image by patronizing those who don't portray that same negative ass image? Why don't you keep them around? Why not? So you mean to tell me you would rather see somebody else come along and get that same money that you're gonna pay, because nobody's gonna do the shit for free. That's not gonna happen.
I think it's a little bit of a deeper issue, which Neek and I will actually be touching on her podcast tomorrow on IG. So tune into that because we're going to be touching that, and it deals with a little bit more on commitment. In our community, we have a very hard time with commitment when it comes to each other.
Yeah, we don't really. I agree with that. Yeah, we won't really do that. But in some of the other cities, you don't really. It depends on where you at, though. I think because Detroit, I don't think it's a big deal. At least it used to not be. It used to be Detroit. You see blacks more supportive of blacks. Birmingham, you see blacks more supportive of blacks. That's why they've always had a black mayor. Like Birmingham is kind of like a chocolate city here. I know it's known for being Magic City, but most of your significant figures in Birmingham are all black. All police department, the mayor, most of the people who are in like doctors, you see a lot of black doctors, dentists, optometrists, all of it. Well, I was just saying, we need to do a better job of supporting each other. I know Neek does. She patronizes every
But you
chance.
know what it is. You keep saying why, like you don't know. It's trained behavior, learned behavior of why we do a lot of the things we do.
Yeah, of course it's learned, but where was it learned
But they
from?
already proved. Remember, I'm sorry. They already proved. We even discussed this before. They proved that DNA changes when you have trauma.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
Yeah, your brain
So
structure
you don't
changes
think
too.
that if you're being pounded and hounded with all types of images that you are supposed to be negative, you're supposed to be bad, the majority is not going to lean towards that way. Like you just purposely make a ghetto for Black people to purposely drown. Yes, some people's going to get out. Why? Because we wonderful. Because we got that melanin. So sometimes, even though we go through trauma, we still come out on top. But most of us are not. So you saying why? That's why we treat each other that way. You have to have somebody raise you from young to tell you that's just stuff that they putting out there. Don't believe that stuff. If you don't have nobody telling you that, come on now.
Do you think a generation like this, where now all this is a lot more publicized, where you're seeing a lot more Black people on panels having these kinds of conversations, do you think something like that can actually start shifting the narrative?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely.
I think
absolutely.
We're waking up a little bit. I think.
Yes. This newer generation, I get behind them and encourage them in certain aspects. That whole 900 goddamn personality shit, I'm never gonna accept that shit. But other than that, if you look, this generation is more money conscious. They're better with money. The younger ones have better credit scores than their parents did at that same age. Across the board,
buying homes.
They're more about buying. Yeah, you see a lot of young Black, a lot of the younger Blacks buying homes. You see them investing money, asking questions about stocks, and actually fucking doing something. Like they actually have an actionable plan that they put into place to either learn to trade stocks or learn how to buy stocks the right way so that they can make a long-term investment if they don't want to be an active trader. And a lot of them are options trading. And there's a couple of them that are pretty damn good at it. Quite a few that's pretty damn good at it. Yeah. And they're young. They're not old, they're young. Like when I say young, I'm talking about like 19, 20 years old young. I watched one dude, I said he should do this. I was thinking before he revealed his screen. I'm like, I know he playing the way the market is. He should be playing this. He played that play, and I watched him just close that bitch out somewhere around $9,000 in less than an hour.
9 G's.
Yeah, and his account had like over $100,000 in his account.
And did y'all bet the same? Did you make some money too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hell yeah, I played that same play.
All
I knew
right.
which play I was playing that day. Maybe he ain't played the same play. Like when you know, you just know. When you just put your work in, you'll know.
But it's not enough of us doing it. But I feel like
shit, it's a lot more than damn before.
We're starting to.
I really
you did not want Black customers. Like they all had bad credit. Like you just not. I'm like, shit. You just knew you wasn't gonna get them bought. Like it's just. But every now and then you run across a gem, and you able to do it. But for the most part, it was 5 P's and a B: painters, police officers, preachers, plumbers, and it was one more. Or was it 4 P's and B? And Black people. Them was gonna always be the ones that had like bad credit. But now it's not like that.
I had bad credit because of college. Okay, they just started throwing cards at me.
Yeah, and when you have no use cards, man, I tanked my credit when I first got a credit card. I demolished my. I mean, it took me a couple of years, but I worked it back up. But man, luckily, I didn't kill it too bad. But let's move on to the next question of the panel. A little bit more of a Joe Biden plans to make the new Supreme Court Senate a black woman. The first thing that he said was the new Supreme Court justice is going to be a black woman. I don't know who it is yet, but it's going to be a black woman. What are your thoughts? Yella, if you're still there.
Oh man, you trying to get me in trouble first, huh? You gonna make me go first so I can get in trouble? You ain't shit. You ain't shit. All right. Well, as far as for me personally, it just all seems like some obvious pandering to the one demographic that's been behind him the whole time. Black woman pretty much got him in the office. You got to keep going back to the well. I mean, he got the power to do it. It sucks because okay, now we taking merit out of the whole thing, right? So like, no matter how much she qualified for the job, she's got to be black first.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So anybody here can name 5 eligible black women for that seat? Exactly. We're fucked.
They actually got the nominees. Did you see them?
I
There was
know.
one.
It's like 6 of them.
Who are they though? Like I don't like. Okay, for
They all
me
have, like,
personally, I can care less because they're gonna fall right into line with the machine anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I don't see that being a direct win for us. You know what I'm saying? But where did these women come? Who are they? Like, I mean, no, and I ain't being like, I ain't trying to be facetious or nothing. Like, who are they? Because I haven't seen them. I don't care to see. But now that we're talking about it, like, who are they? Because where are these people coming from? You know what I'm saying? Where are these women coming from? They just appointed. Like, it's a scary thought.
This one is just, something tells me she is going to end up being it because why not?
Who? Which one? Which one you said she?
That the one with the fro. I think she's the front runner. They said.
I believe she was Melissa Murray.
See, I'm going to hell. I already know I'm going to hell.
Naming of women who are black and qualified makes them unqualified. I mean, that's ridiculous. And all you have to do is go through the resumes of these women. But I also want to underscore another point, which is how diverse they are, both in experience and background. I mean, as you pointed out, Sherilyn Eichel, who's a dear friend, who worked at the NAACP Legal Defense Fund together years ago. I won't say how many, so don't ask me, Jonathan.
I don't want to end up getting a copyright from that. But yeah, those are the candidates.
Let's go, Melissa.
I find it interesting that it's before credentials were checked, before anything, it was going to be a black woman. Yellow, continue.
Yeah. Okay. Now that I see them, I still do ask who are they? Because like, where did they come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, none of them have made any dent of significance unless you like super inside baseball politicians. You might know who they are. You know what I mean? But they've made no dent of significance. Now I will say this, and it's just me being me. Go Melissa, because she's pretty damn cute. And I will say this though, I'm glad they're younger black women, because the Supreme Court tends to put in old people. You know what I'm saying? They tend to vote in old people. So I will say that's one good thing. But I mean, it's oof. I have a thing about like women in that level of power anyway.
Ooh,
So
interesting. I would definitely want to come back.
yeah. I'm trying to dodge that grenade. I'm really trying to dodge that grenade. I am. I don't want to put a pin on that one. Not here. Not now.
If you want to, if you want to know who's gonna win, who's gonna get the nomination, bro, all you gotta do is the background, find out which one of them is lesbian. That's all you gotta do.
The one
is
in the
lesbian,
bottom right.
one going in there.
The one in the bottom right, because she looked the whitest. I'm gonna be straight up with you.
Yeah, I know all of them except for 2 have white husbands.
But them niggas definitely ain't going in there.
Them is homegrown niggas. They done manufactured these black women somewhere.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna push our agenda, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, bro. These ain't no real sisters,
Think
man.
about it. I need you to push this agenda for me, so I'm gonna stack the damn deck, bro. Because I know I'm not fixing to win next. I know my ass is out of the White House, right? But I need the folks who really put me in here to have a chance at the next one, so that our agendas can stay intact.
See,
whoever that might be, everybody know that nigga won't get reelected. Dude is the most hated president ever. His approval rating is down to like 32%, 31%, something like that.
Who you talking about? Biden?
Election. Biden is out of here. The justices
bro,
don't go nowhere though.
I think we're gonna have a carousel going around for the next couple of years. I'm running next year. I turn 35. That's the legal age to run for president. So vote for y'all, goddamn. Let's get it. Y'all know I ain't got no sense.
Do me a favor. Can you pull your mic away from? Yeah, just a little bit. There you go. Because we keep hearing the breathing.
I know I'm fat as hell.
I wasn't going there. Banique, what's going on? Talk to me. What do you think of that? Joe Biden plans to make the new Supreme Court Senate a black woman.
Well, it's a nice, pretty little present, little thing that you put on the end for the cat to hang, to play with. That's what he's giving us. So, that's just a symbol.
That's just like saying I have black friends.
I've never heard of those women myself either. And
I have a black friend.
I was watching Professor Black Truth, and he's the one who pulled up like all their names and their who they married to. He pulled out like pictures from their Facebook, like, oh yeah, they all about to fall in line. This ain't nothing. It had nothing to do with us. They married to all these. They were married to white men, so they not there to help us at all.
Do you think even though they are married to white men, they still have the interest of the black community?
I think they know how to portray that they do. I think they know how to give little bits, give, what they have to seem like they are.
John, what do you think?
Yeah. I mean, I'm with Nick all the way on this. Like, they know how to play the game, bro. See, that's one of my problems. I never knew how to play. I knew how to play the game to a point, but I don't know how to play the game all the way. I choose not to play the game all the way. Let me just put it like that. Because it gets me too far out of my element. You know what I'm saying? I can only fake it till I make it so far, and I'm a fucking around. You can get me mad, I'll expose myself. Do you really think I should be on your podcast swearing like I do? Like keeping it 100, like keeping a buck? Nah, I probably shouldn't. But ask me, do I care what somebody might look at this and say? I don't care. I really don't. 'Cause at the end of the day, I'm going to work for me. All day, every day. License, I'm going to still work for John. But that's, I can't play. I'm going to be me, who I am, who I want to be.
Thank God you got that option. Everybody ain't got that.
And I created that option. I ain't really had that option. I ain't never had no plethora of money anytime I ever started anything. I just went out there and got that shit out the dirt. I got it out the dirt. Now, did I have a little help? Hell yeah, I have a homeboy throw me a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there. You know what I'm saying? To give me some business license or something, and then I get it from I hustle from there and then pay them back. That's what I did. And I got on. And I just stayed on. Even when I sold my business, I sold it for a nice chunk. So I splurged a little bit, but I ain't splurged how I would normally splurge, because if that was the case, I'd be riding around a brand new 535. But I ain't do that. So, but that's neither here nor there. I just can't fake. That's why I don't want to teach inside of a college, because one, I'm gonna give you that truth. We're gonna really talk about. We're gonna talk. You want me to educate your kids? I'm gonna educate them. I'm gonna let you know what's fake. I'm gonna let you know what is a mental illness.
You
I'm
can
gonna
do
let
that
you know
though.
this shit they pushing on it down. That agenda they pushing is a false narrative that's supported by science, but can't everybody scared to fucking challenge it? Won't nobody challenge it? Nobody, not a fucking soul. Knowing good and fucking well, you can't fucking say it's okay for a motherfucker to feel a certain way and then somebody got to follow how they fucking feel. Knowing good and well, you can't do that. And you medicating all these damn folks for doing that. I just can't be that political. Can't do it. It ain't in me. It's just not in me. I can play the game to a point, and then I just have to stop playing. I have to put my controller down. But them women, they know how to play the game. They're gonna play it all the way through. They're gonna say what they need to say to get the hearts of many, and then they're gonna do what they need to do to keep it right in their house. Because if you think for one fucking minute that every one of them, especially ones with the white husband, to go against that motherfucker, you got another thought coming.
That's what I'm saying.
You got a whole nother fucking thought coming. That's not gonna happen. She ain't finna fuck up her good thing for some damn Negroes.
Chris said, "Oh, really? Can you explain that further? What does being married to a non-black man mean in this situation?"
Okay, I'll be glad to explain it. We all know that the majority, there is a sense of like not so many people that are white or for us, because if they were, things would look a little bit different. So if any one of them, if their husbands are not for us, they are not going to fuck that up. That's what I mean. They're not fixing to go against him. There won't be no black power movement, separatism in that house. It's just not going to happen. If they for us, then we're okay. But if them husbands are against us, then we're not okay. That's what I'm saying. See, it's not going to be in that house. It's not going to be black first, no matter what. I don't care how you feel. No, it's not going to be like that, because they never would have got married if it was going to be like that.
They've been groomed since they were young. You don't think they went to certain schools? They went to Harvard, like, our former president went to certain schools, got groomed, know how to talk, know how to present stuff in a way. I think a lot of those judges were.
Oh yeah, these is manufactured black women. Yeah, these is black women that came off their special assembly line. You know what I'm saying? For real.
You don't run for it, you get appointed.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about you don't think that they were followed and helped and whatever they had to do to get to where they had to be married to their white man and be a judge.
Well, no, but I just want to let me answer Ebony real quick. I don't want her to think this is what I'm not saying, right? I am not saying because a woman is married to a white man that she will not be for her race. That's not what I'm saying. That's not true. But what I am saying is that if one of these women have a white husband, who have white husbands, the ones that do, if that white husband is not, she's gonna appease her white husband. I'll just put it like that. And if his decision, and if what he is saying is just don't go along with, she's not gonna fight him on it. You never get me to believe it. She's not gonna cause dissension in her home, because at the end of the day, why should she? At the end of the day, why should she, and how can you prove that she would? Because if she was this pro-black, that man on her arm would be a nigga from Howard or Morehouse or Talladega College.
Or yeah.
But she was groomed, like Yannick was saying, to go for this particular guy right here. And she found him. And she got him. Now,
you don't
I'm
think
just
it's also
saying she's not going to go against that man, however he thinks. She's going to put her marriage and her priorities will be lying with her. They're not going to be lying for the masses. So I hope that kind of answers your question. I'm not trying to say that, if a white woman, a black woman married to a white man, and she ain't for niggas. No, I'm not going to say that shit. That's not true. But I'm saying these particular women right here are not going to jeopardize their marriage. They're not going to jeopardize themselves to push a particular agenda at all. I don't think the masses is going to be able to, it's not going to matter to them enough for them to do anything in their life that's going to cause dissension. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that.
Tack Williams. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's good? What's good? How y'all doing? Dr.
What up,
John, what's up, man?
What's happening?
Chilling. Yeah.
What's going on, man?
I was just listening to you guys, man. Great program as usual. Thought provoking, The question here, I was just thinking about the idea of the black woman being appointed as the Supreme Court justice to fill a seat, right? And
that was the first thing he said. It was the new Supreme Court justice is going to be a black woman. That's all he said. He never even said anything beyond that. That was the first and open statement that he said before they even started looking for anyone.
Yeah, so when I look at that, it's a couple things that I think about. I kind of agree really with everybody, what everybody was saying, but there's a couple thoughts of mine, different conversations I've had with people about it already too, right? And as I expressed to somebody, sometimes you do things out of principle, right? Sometimes things are done as a principle. It's not necessarily substance-based qualification, who's best for the job. Just get somebody up here to look for me. Well, he's drunk. He's on crack. I don't care what he is. Throw some water on his ass. Put him right there. We'll hire him as an assistant until he can get up to speed, right?
Wow.
Sometimes things are done for principle. This is reality, right? And then sometimes it's the appeasement too. Like you guys say, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you this, whatever. Okay, so it is what it is. If you ask the average black person, adult, not kids, what was Obama's policies as they voted for him, they couldn't tell you more than two of them. Most people couldn't tell you more than one. Okay, so what I did in the conversation I had a couple days ago about the Supreme Court appointment, I agree with everything the guys were saying that I was talking to, how it's not going to help. It's just this, it's just that. And you know what I asked? I said, okay, it's not going to help. It don't mean nothing. Fine. Give me one or two Supreme Court cases that made it different in your life, that changed the situation for you or your family, where you could contrast that on what she might do or might not do. None of them could give me one. And what I find sometimes, in all fairness, right? There's different levels to look at this. It won't help us. It won't change anything. Fine. That's fine. But let's come down from the macro level, 50,000 feet, and let's go down here where the hand-to-hand combat take place. Give me some cases or some scenarios or an argument that you can say made a difference, where we will have some contrast. and is usually coming up short of that, or it stays as rhetoric. Okay. At the same time, it may not change anything. At the same time, it's just to appease people, to satisfy people, to placate, to whatever. None of that, I'm not taking any of that away. But sometimes when you drill down and ask, how would that make a difference for you? What did make a difference from you from the Supreme Court seat? A lot of times you just come up short. And then that does answer the question that it wouldn't make a difference for you no way, whether she was white, whether she was black, whether she was blue, because you don't know what the hell's going on at that level anyway.
Yeah.
See, my thing is to recognize and respect, and I realize all of that is true. The conversations I had with the guys, that's what I'm talking about. And I grant them that. That's true with everything they saying. But I like to take people to task beyond the rhetoric, beyond the stereotype, beyond the quick sayings and cliches, and let's just bottle it up and just put it as it is. Okay, so what is that function? What do that do? How might that affect you? It's a different ball game then, because a lot of times that's where it falls short.
What do you see? So I guess, do you think? You know what? Let's throw the next question, because that is going to end up being the next question. Should a black woman being nominated cause controversy in the black community?
Oh, let me turn it up. I couldn't hear you.
Okay, let's do it this way.
It was my speaker.
No worries. Should a black woman being nominated cause controversy in the black community?
Who's first? Ladies first?
You know what? Let's hold off on that. I want to go back to Yella. Yella, if you're still there.
Yes, sir.
You did say something about you don't believe that women should be in the positions of power.
No.
No? Could you?
No, not that high up in a position of power. No, because I don't know. It's gonna sound super sexist, but it kind of goes along to what we've been saying. Like men are corrupted, but like women at their worst are way more conniving than men and way more corruptible. You know what I'm saying? And it's not always the best choice to just put the representative in there. Now, if she just can't be matched up in that situation, then cool. But I'm sitting here in Chicago and I'm watching this female mayor just basically run Chicago into the ground. You know what I mean? And it's simply because she won't step up and really put her foot down on some shit. She'll fold easy. Like she go with any platform that she placates. You know what I'm saying? She panders, and
she makes emotional decisions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You can easily pull at her heartstrings and is funding for the wrong type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And honestly, it wouldn't be a good thing. That's why it's like, considering who's the vice president of the world. Excuse me. Yeah, they pretty much feel like it is. They try to rule the world. But who the vice president of the United States is if she take over as president, then I'm moving. I'm going to Canada for real. I'm gonna learn how to I'm just gonna drink maple syrup and ride a moose all day. Cause I'm done.
She went to high school. That's where she went to high school too.
Canadian.
Where?
She went to high school in Canada.
Oh shit! Yeah, all right, Mexico, viva la raza! God damn it, I'm in the fuck out of here. somewhere she ain't got no ties to. Shit.
Nick, do you agree with that? Nick, what's your thoughts on that? Women should not
So
be in positions of power.
I don't agree with that. Not at all. I don't agree with that. I think some women can make good decisions and they can do it under pressure as well. They just got to be trained. You know, you just got to practice. If you don't ever practice making those decisions under pressure, then you won't learn. I think anybody can learn. I don't think it's male or female thing with learning something like that.
But it's not, to me, it's not just under pressure though. It's also unbiased.
Yeah, women can be unbiased too. I've met women unbiased.
I'm with Yellow on
I
this
don't
one.
know. I don't know.
I've not seen very many good leader women that are in leadership at low level positions. I can imagine what the chips.
I'll even go as far as this. Look at most family court judges, especially in Illinois. I know for Cook County, it's several that's black females. They are the hardest ones to deal with. They are the hardest ones to deal with. They come down on fathers the hardest.
And that's an emotional decision.
That's a system decision.
I don't know. Them judges got a lot of influence on that bench. Believe it or not, when you get on that bench, you got a lot more pull than people think.
A lot.
And then you want to stay on the bench, right?
Yeah, that's up to your voters. You know what I'm saying? It's just as easy. It's just as well for you to be against paternity fraud and against fathers getting abused basically getting abused in the father's rights system. You could be against that. You can easily be against that. You know what I mean? But they don't want to get out of line because ultimately they would be going against the mothers, the ones who they need to. It's all about representation. Representation is a double-edged sword.
I don't know. I don't see it that way. I mean, that's because I do know women that can be catty, and I do know women that's not. So I don't think that it's just
What do you guys
between
think?
sex.
Half of the population is female, and the masses also represent what we look like, gender and race.
Now you should be representing you should be in a position in what you that matches your skill set and what you naturally are good at. And that's just not one of them. That's not one of y'all. That's not one of your strong suits. You make decisions based off of emotions, and that's not
generalization.
Because it's a damn fact. A woman is an emotional decision maker most of the time. Of course, it's a generalization. You can generalize when you looking at the masses. Just like Talk said last week, when you look at numbers under the normal distribution, and those numbers lean heavily to one side, then you can make a generalization based on that. Then you have outliers and anomalies that lie on those corner edges. That's where you get to say, well, I know somebody, she's not like that. Okay.
I'm not saying one person.
Well, no, I mean 1% of a whole number is a lot. That's a lot. But when you look at 60% of that same number or 75% of that same amount of numbers, that's a lot even more.
Listen,
I just don't see why do you think a woman president has never been in office? Ain't because they ain't ran, because the masses don't want it.
Doesn't mean they wouldn't be good at it.
Well, that means that they're not good at it.
I don't want to take that chance.
You know what I'm saying? Like the masses think that way.
I mean, if y'all can't take a woman running your household,
Let Nick respond.
if y'all can take the woman running the household, really running the show, basically runs most of that show, right? Yeah, you the face out front, you the workhorse, but if you doing that generalization, it's just a general, like you said, and they the one who really running the show, that means they know how to cooperate, they know how to multitask, they know how to do a lot of stuff at one time, so I don't think that's something that you can generalize for as far as men and women. I think there are women who can make decisions that's not emotional, and there are men who do make decisions out of emotion.
And I agree with you on that.
So a lot of men that do make decisions out of emotion. So,
but most of your
Miss
leaders
Neek,
are men.
Miss Neek, can I present you a situation, and then I got to bounce out, y'all. Can I present you a scenario?
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna take you for example, because I want you to respond. I want you to get the kind of visceral response. Like I want you to feel it, right? It maybe it don't. Oh well. Are you married?
Yes.
Okay. Say you president of the United States. Bang, 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 bang. You know what I'm saying? You waking up to your presidential music. And you find out that morning that your husband been cheating on you. Now you gotta go to the Oval Office. And it just so happened to be on the day where the red button needs to be hit. Like you gotta make a super important logical decision while you in the midst of a heartbreak.
No pressure. I'll give you time.
You don't think men
You
have
better answer it
heartbreak?
right. I'm gonna answer it for you. Because I already know the answer.
Answer it for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
She finna launch that motherfucker, I'm telling you.
I done been in
You hit that button, it's all out war.
Where like I should have just been all the way emotional, crazy, doing a whole lot of stuff like I was, like you say women do, and I did not. Like I could have made my life way worse than it is right now by making that emotional decision. But I did not. Why? Because I was starting to do different things with myself and knowing that, you have to think about the future and not just right now. You have to think about the future of your kids and you. That I didn't make crazy rash decisions. So I think it can be done. I think I could go to the Oval Office and do what I have to do and deal with him later. He's going to be there.
Great answer. That was a great answer. I don't believe it, but it was great. Unique finna launch that motherfucker. I'm telling you that right now. You know what? I'm mad. Them niggas
Don't let the leader of the other country look like her husband either. Don't let the leader of the other country look like her husband or a guy his name sound like it. Don't let him be the same sign. Oh, he one of them goddamn tourists. Yep, he just like his ass. He ain't shit.
Just like him.
He just like they all the same.
He's a Virgo too. He's a Virgo. Nah, you're crazy.
Come on, man. Come on now. Hey, but you know what though? Anybody, I will say this though. I would prefer it not be because, like I said, I would rather not, women not have to deal with that pressure because it's a lot, right? But at the same time, if one of these black women are qualified for it, maybe I'll do a little more research and we can revisit it, right? But if they able to do the job, then so be it. But just, I want a sister in there. You know what I'm saying? I want you to walk in her chambers and it smell like cocoa butter and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like sage and there's crystals up there. You know what I'm saying? Like I want that sister on the bench. You know what I'm saying? Not one who, shops at IKEA on the weekends and shit, and they got a dog named Fluffers with all the other kids and shit. And she carried around in a purse and shit. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm good on that. I'm good. Hey, but man, right. Hey, I appreciate you having me up, bro. Y'all enjoy the rest of the stream, man. Make sure y'all subscribe and follow on all the CKQ's platforms, and I'm out, y'all. Peace.
All right, man. Be safe.
Peace.
Take care, my man. Tack, you haven't really shine your comments on this. What's going on, man?
Because I was letting the lady go. You know, I mean,
lady,
I don't. You know, like what I try to do in these panels is, if there's a question about a woman and there's more men than the women, especially when the question leans towards sometimes the obvious response, I don't try to jump on that initially, because I just try to be sensitive. You know, like I say, man, I learned from my dad, but I love my mom, right? So that goes to show you where most of my emotions was at. It was tied with my mom, but in terms of structure and discipline and examples, I looked at my dad for that. Now, as a male, I think for the most part, and you can find individual differences on both ends of the extreme or mean, but for the majority, men have more of a modular approach to things. Okay. And if you think about a lot of times when men get to beefing or disagreeing, and then they run into each other again, they just carry on like nothing happened, like at the job or at the event or something like that. Now, I'm not talking about you take a lot of ignorance and you take some pills and some liquor and all that, mix them together, and they just kill each other. I'm not talking about that. But in general, the gossip, the debates, the disagreements. Whereas the women, they bring that with them. They ain't gonna let that go like that in many cases. Men will show up the next day. I run into you and be like, Dr. John, what's up, man? You know what I mean? And we just, it's popping again. We got to get to the next thing we don't agree about, right? So what I've experienced is that men have a tendency to put things, they're more modular. That's why a tragic event can happen, and the man will say, yeah, man, that's messed up, man. That just happened. But you still got to go and handle your business. And he'll get up and go handle his business, right? And I've had experience to witness women where they don't leave that there. You know, it's like when I was cheating on my in real relationships. You know, when I finally got caught, my lady would be like, it hurt me so much because you was with her. And I'm like, well, that wasn't nothing. That was just fun. You know what I mean? I got up and left to come see what was happening with you if something happened. She couldn't process that, but that's just the way a lot of men's brain work. We don't glue it all together and take it with us each time. So
yeah, compartmentalize.
Yeah, we have that thing like, okay, that was that. This is this. You know.
I think emotionally we compartmentalize
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Well, not even that we compartmentalize it better, but we don't. We really just, the way we show our emotions is not the same way women show their emotions. Women go through their emotions, and for us, we just put it on the back burner because we're like, all right, this is not going to aid me at all in this moment in time.
Man,
So
let me add to that. Let me add to that, CKQ. So I had a tax issue one time because I do a lot of 1099, right? I was doing some consultant work. So this was about 6 years ago. I was doing some consultant work. So I owed the government like $29,000 that year, right? So I'm calling the IRS, right? So I get the person, we go through it. It's a female. Like, instead of her just walking me through the steps, the protocol, every 3 or 4 questions, she would spend a minute telling me how it was my responsibility and I should have paid it. And she couldn't understand why I didn't and these decisions I was making. So on the first part, I just let it go. And then 5 minutes later into the conversation, she visited again. Like, I don't need you to understand why I didn't do it. I don't need you to talk to me. So I told her like this. I said, look, ma'am, can I speak to a supervisor? So she put a supervisor on the phone. She was like, supervisor's gonna tell you the same thing. I said, that's fine. Let me hear from somebody else. She put supervisor on the phone. I say, miss, she must got me mixed up with her baby's father or her ex. I don't know what happened with them in their tax situation, but why is she like ridiculing me, chastising me, And all I want to know is how I can set up payments. And she says, sir, we're sorry. Boom, boom, boom. I said, look, can I just hang up? I'll just call back and get a man to answer the phone. And that's what I did. And when a guy answered the phone, he just went through the thing and he was like, yeah, man, don't even sweat this. Everybody go through this. You know what I mean? But here's what we got to do. And then that was it. So it's like, it'd be weird, man. It'd be weird. That's it.
Well, what did you say? Because men don't pine after their ex who did them wrong. Okay. We literally get taught that women mature faster than men, which is why most women go for older men. I think that's supposed to be physically. I believe physically they mature. That has nothing to do with any women mature faster for a reason, because women have biological clocks. That is about families. We mature faster so we can marry and get under a man's leadership. We mature faster physically, and basically we need to be ready to start a family. Men and women brains are literally the same when it comes to psychology. Well, John, if you're there, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Men and women brains are literally the same when it comes to psychology.
Explain. In what way? Because no, they're not.
Yeah, I don't see anything that says
a
that.
woman brain and a man brain is not the same when it comes to psychology.
Right.
That's if they're just calling. It'll make
the way you process your environment is different.
Yeah.
The way that you process emotions are different. The way that you see life is different. You don't see life the same way because you're not raised the same way. You're not treated the same way. So how could you be the same psychologically? You may be subjected. There are certain, even when it comes to certain mental illnesses, men are just not subjected to where women are at risk for. They have a better chance at saying. They have a better chance of going through a certain mental illness. Who is they?
I'm gonna go and assume scientist.
Hold on. So we want to bring science into it. Not a problem. Be right back.
We're gonna get that prefrontal cortex going up in here tonight.
But
W's. Let's go with this. I'll be with you in just a second.
But see, that's the thing. It's like somebody. It's like when people say, "Well, it's 6 planets," you know, and then you say, "Okay, it's 6 planets. What we gonna base that on, right?" And then you say, "We'll bring up some authority on it, like your authority to say it's 6 planets, mine that says it's 9, right?" And then we can fact find, or at least get closer to it.
Put it in the chat section if you're able to find it.
Okay.
Bingo.
I can find it.
No, I was talking to
okay.
Kristen. But Yannick. Nick, you still awake? You look like you're sleeping over there. You're muted. Oh, she
talking, but we can't hear. She's muted.
Is this her?
She might not be able to hear us.
Wait, turn your volume up. I think I just heard you. Speak now.
Hello.
There you go. Turn it up a little louder. Speak now.
Hello.
You're hearing you, but you're sounding a little low sometimes.
I'm all the way up on this thing.
There you go.
Yeah, you're clear now.
Oh, I'm there now? Okay.
Are you like a school teacher or something? You don't mind me asking?
No.
Oh.
But I do homeschool my children and work from home at the same time. So hey.
I'm just looking at that clock up on the wall.
Yeah, that's for my children because their desk go over there.
Oh,
this is my desk. And
gotcha.
they got that's right there. No, I actually help people set up and apply for Medicaid to get help.
Oh wow,
in
that's
their home.
cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, help them do the application and all that other stuff. But anyway, so that's something that I'm very good at naturally, as far as like telling people what to do, explaining directions,
Okay.
instructions. That's what I'm naturally good at. So when you was describing that, that's not something I would have did when I was helping. If I'm helping somebody,
Yeah.
that's not something that I would have naturally did to tell them what I think what they should be doing. So when you said that, it was kind of like, why did she say that? Because if you're helping somebody on the telephone and it's your job, you're just supposed to just help.
What did I say?
You were saying that the girl was like telling you
Oh
what
yeah,
you
she
need
was.
to do.
She was like taking moments to smack me on the back of my hand and chastise me, and I'm like, I'm listening. I'm like, okay,
Oh my
and
god.
I'm like, man. And then see, initially, here's how I typically do it. Initially, it's me. I'll take it. I go to a restaurant, food don't taste right. I'm not begging. I can pay for it. Okay, maybe it's me. I'll go back again. That second time, if it ain't right, nah, I ain't coming back no time soon.
I did hear something that was pretty I would say pretty relevant to this conversation, which is Anton Daniels was actually talking about it, which is why women shouldn't be in positions of power. The reason is women, especially right now in time, want to fight for the highest position possible, but they aren't fighting for the lowest position possible. They aren't fighting for the trench diggers. They aren't fighting for the plumbers. They aren't fighting for the electricians, all the hard jobs. But for the most part, men start at the bottom, start at the lowest point, and have to work their way all the way up. And to be a successful business owner, you have to know what it is to run a company from the worst parts of it to the top of it. And it's going to be very hard for most women to step into that position because a lot of them are not willing to do the lowest parts of the job, the lowest parts of this country.
And the way I want to, and I want to go on and put this out there, and anybody who is a vet that went through leadership courses, the first principle of being a good leader is first being a good follower. You got to first know how to follow before you know how to lead.
No doubt.
And I posted that research in there just to completely to go back to what Kristen was saying. There was a significant difference between men and women.
What about this though? Dr. Elliott said sex differences in the brain are tiny and inconsistent once individuals' head size is accounted for.
Are you referring to the structure of the brain, or are you referring to the cognitive processes of the brain?
I don't know if she is still here.
Once individual's head size is accounted for is relative to the structure of the brain. So that has nothing to do with the cognition of the brain. I mean, I don't want to get into a whole lecture about it, but I'll start with the research, and if she still has questions, then I'll give her the other part. So for the 5-factor model, which is the most accepted form of a personality test, 7,000 women and men were given 1,700 men and women were given this exact same test. Women score higher in the areas that's consistent with nurturing, being a peacekeeper, agreeableness, organization. Men score high in areas related to aggressiveness, assertiveness, extroversion, and there was one more. Logic thinking. they outscored the women almost 2-1 on that particular area. Which, if you sum it up, women scored in areas consistent with being a mother. Men scored in areas consistent with being a protector and a provider. Period. So yes, it's a difference in the way that we see.
Peacekeeper, but they will press the red button. Men are aggressive and won't. I'm confused by that.
A man would push the red button, and a woman would not if knowing that she had children, and that's a whole fact. If she knew that it would kill her children, she's not gonna push that button. A man would.
Especially if that son's not really doing much with his life.
Especially if he's not doing much with his life. And it's like, how could you say that? I would not kill my own child. That's a whole lie. Niggas walk away from kids. Don't have nothing to do with them. They tell them one thing that they don't like, that they don't agree with, and the man won't talk to that motherfucker for the rest of his life. He will die not talking to that motherfucker. Period. Period. And he ain't got to have much justification at all. The motherfucker didn't listen. He didn't listen. I told him what to do. He didn't listen. Fuck him. He can just end up like his mama. And that's the end of it. A mother can have the worst fucking child in the history of children, and she will placate to that motherfucker until forever. Baby, you gonna get it right one day. Baby, you gonna be 100 years old. I think Junior making progress. She 100 and he's 70. And this nigga the same way he was when he was 12. And she's still waiting for him to come around. She's not gonna give up on him. She ain't pushing that red button.
But the whole argument earlier was a woman can't be empowered because one bad day, she'll push the red button.
Well, no, that was like just one example. The whole general argument was the women do not have that skill set across most examples of women in power have demonstrated that you just don't lead well. Your decision making is not based upon logical. It's based that there don't need to be no diversity. No. Let me talk to you something about diversity. Diversity is race and gender. And that's all diversity is right there. And you should still, diverse or not, you don't just go get a bunch of different people to say you diverse. You get people who fit the ticket. You get people who can get the job done, and you need to remain in that realm of what people can do based on what their natural ability is and what their skill set is and what their education level is. You don't just go out there and get people, well, we need some more of them in here. Let's sprinkle some over here. No,
I think
that's what this administration did. And that's the message they sent to the people.
That's why I keep saying like a lot of this diversity idea is only working in women's favor towards higher positions. It's never really towards the bottom positions. It's never towards the digging the dishes. It's never towards building buildings. It's usually towards like, oh, we want to be in positions of power too. So diversity, I understand that, but it's not a good concept to try to just fit people in because we need to have a little Johnny out there needs to be able to look up to see a bill up there so he can say, oh, I could do that one day. It does not make sense.
Yeah.
If he aspires for that, he should go for that. But it shouldn't be that, oh, it's because someone like that looks like me up there, then now I feel like I should go for it. It doesn't matter how you feel. It matters if you do the job right or not.
So they say that Biden has appointed 26 black women to positions since he's been president. And that's more than any other president. 26. They used to give that credit to Jimmy Carter and I think Bill Clinton, but I think they appointed maybe a handful, close to 10 on the other one, but Biden has already appointed 26. So the idea there is he is pandering, he is playing it. Most of it is symbolic. It's really not about who's the best, right? And I like I say, I have empathy for it. I understand that, because in a strange way, a lot of times that's what's being asked for. Like I said, I go back to President Obama. I had relatives, they was crazy about it. The fact that he was running, the fact that he won. But if I asked them what was his policies, they just could not tell me as fluently as they could about why it was important. And even years before Obama ran for president, you had Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. They was running in the Democratic Party. Of course, they didn't win, but they was running for the Democratic Party to get the votes to represent the president's seat from that side. And they admittedly said, we knew we wasn't going to win. We just did it just so people could see that you could be a black man and run for that office. And they admitted they like we knew we never had a chance of winning the party's vote on that, So it's different reasons, and a lot of times it has do we have the best teacher in the school? Do we have the best parent in the house? Do we have the best qualified doctor when you're getting the surgery? Do you have the best? I mean, who knows sometimes when you drill down and find out your surgeon just drank 2 cups of coffee and took 3 pills and had some edible, but he washes his hand for 7 minutes before he cuts you. So, I mean, it's a lot of that. But I will say this, sometimes it's just necessary, not necessarily the correct thing to do, but sometimes it's just necessary symbolically to put somebody in a particular position. And that comes before the actual qualifications. That's the reality of it.
So then you're saying that the symbolism behind it means more than the actual. So now we're talking about positions of power.
Absolutely.
You're saying that it would mean more to put someone there as a symbol than did their qualifications matter at that point?
To some people, right? To some people. And here's why. Here's why I say that. I'm not saying it's correct. It's the best practice.
Okay.
We're just being practical about it. Okay. When people say, all my neighbors in my neighborhood are black, right? All my neighbors in my neighborhood are black, or the majority of them. But all I see is white police officers coming into my neighborhood. None of them look like me, right? Okay, cool. So you rather see some police officers that look like you, right? Okay, that's symbolic. Nobody says, I want you to send the best police officers, the most highly trained police officers, the one that have the best social skills and all of that into our neighborhoods. Nobody asks for that. I just want to see a face that looks like mine. And then all of these other presumptions are there. Not necessarily true. It's all what do they call it? As the brother said earlier, visceral is a gut feeling, right? And that's what I mean by that. You see it in a lot of cases throughout society. So let's use the Supreme Court again. Let's go back to that. I want to see a sister on there. Okay. But she might not be qualified. Okay, she's not qualified. Now I ask the individual, tell me some cases that you are aware of where your matter of living or laws that you have to follow were affected, and you recognize that based on some votes from the Supreme Court. And the average person, I'm not saying nobody on this panel, what I'm saying to you is that real question about why it makes a difference, a lot of people wouldn't even be able to answer that. They'll stay on the side of the stereotype, the generality, the rhetoric, just because, I don't get what they're saying. But they won't come out and say, here's why that judgment matter, because I was in this situation and the Supreme Court ruled this, that, and that. And if it wasn't for this representation there, or because of this particular representation there, this is what happened and how it affected my life. Nobody, I ain't gonna say nobody, but in general, ask somebody that beyond She might not be qualified. Where she come from? She married to a white man. Let's go beyond that. Why do you need it to be black and qualified? What has your life experienced as the result of the last couple appointments to the Supreme Court, any of those cases? And you explain that to me, and then I'm gonna say, you know what? You damn right she need to be qualified before she black. Because now you've represented to me how you are affected and you realized it. That's what you represented to me. Why you think people don't go crazy when somebody commit white collar crime from a banking institution or some type of fund, and they take 30 million, 40 million, 10 million, they get 5 years in jail, 10 years in jail. Nobody's looking to kill them because they didn't even know the robbery was being committed on them for the last 7 years. So a lot of times that perception of what happens, the practicality of it, how was it imposed upon me? Now you say, okay, Talk robbed me for $25. He had a shotgun in his hand. I experienced the full trauma. They give me 10 years. Dr. John come by. He write prescriptions for the next 5 years. He makes $50 million. They give him probation and the fine and restitution. Because all those people that he hurt, and I robbed one for $25, the experience is different. The perception is different. The fact of the matter is represented and articulated differently. And that's why I say, do we have the best president when Obama was in there? No. Did we have the best president before Obama was in there? No. Do we have the best president after Obama was in there? No. So if we're gonna put the heavy load on beyond black qualifications, where she come from, who she's sleeping with, and all of this stuff, that's correct too. But I like to ask a person, you explain to me why it matters to you, so and so, that she be qualified. And that's the answer I look for.
I understand, and I definitely understand the symbolism behind it now that you explained it that way. I still think there still needs to be some level of qualification behind that.
Name a case. Name a case in the last 5 years where you could tell me, based on a Supreme Court's decision, that it would make a difference. You give me a case.
What I'm saying is, are we just saying that, okay, we could just have any regular drunk person up there and that'd be okay, just for the sake of symbolism?
No, I'm not saying it's okay. I'm saying, how is it practical to the individual that's challenging the qualifications or even the color of her skin or even the gender? So I'll give you an example.
I agree with that.
Why do we need a board, a civil board, a citizens board to oversight the police outside of the police department? Because the average black person or somebody from that neighborhood can represent and articulate the funeral they went to. My cousin was shot dead. I got it on a cell phone. It does make a difference. Why do they need to wear body cams? We can represent that. We can articulate that. We can matter of fact why we need it. That's beyond the rhetoric of, I just think the police should be wearing cameras. I just think they shouldn't be shooting in cars that's driving away. See, that's beyond all of that. And that's why I say I agree about the qualifications should be ranked. I agree with all of that. But the reality of it is, most people that has something to say on both sides of it, if you ask them directly, give me a case that you were affected or even aware of, rendered down by the Supreme Court, where you can say why that would make a difference, that you come up blank. So does it matter to talk that she's a woman? I'll never know she don't have an education.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying. I'll never experience she doesn't even have a high school diploma. Why? Because I'm not even tuned. It's okay. So let me say this. You know, I do some day trading, right?
Yes.
Okay. Before I did day trading, when I used to look at CNBC News and they talk about the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and the S&P, it flew right by me. That ain't got a damn thing to do with me. I don't know how I tie into my money. When I go to the store, I'm paying $1.89 for a dozen of eggs. It doesn't even matter. Supply and demand, whatever they talking about, because All of that doesn't even, the job report doesn't even matter to me. When I started day trading and I understood that even though I'm day trading Tesla, Apple, or this
That shit
one
matters.
specifically, day trade one stock specifically and don't have a awareness about the broader market, to wake your ass right up. Because now it's not rhetoric. Now you're not sitting there saying, oh, that's them white guys fixing the books. They just making the stock go down, and they just you'll go beyond that. You'll go way beyond that. Because now it's a matter of fact. It becomes practical. So all I'm saying is it's true. None of them might not be qualified. It's true. All of them might be following some hidden agenda or whatever. But my question is, why would that matter to you if you can't even articulate or express anything that you even know about any cases rendered by the Supreme Court in the last 5 to 8 years?
That's fair. That's a fair point.
And that's what I was asking those guys at Starbucks the other day. We was down there talking about it. Because they knew all that. She's married to the white man. She does this. Look at the way she looked. She probably gonna think all that they had. And I said, that's fine. Give me some cases in the last 10 years. Man, there you go. I know. See, there I go. Soon as I snatch that carpet of rhetoric from under you, and I say, come down from 50,000 feet and let's do some hand-to-hand combat, they can't give it.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
Can I name one case?
Of course you can. You're the only woman on the panel. I'm sure you can name one case.
Hi, Chris. Now
they threw that vaccine mandate out the window.
Who threw it out the window?
The Supreme Court.
I know, but it makes a difference who's appointed. That's what we're talking about. So who in the Supreme Court? Hang on for a second. Who in the Supreme Court threw it out? All of them? One of them? Who threw it out? Was they Republicans? Was they Democratic? Was they conservatives? See, that's what this is what I'm saying. Hang on. Right, but hang on. So on the one hand, it's so important for a president to have the opportunity to appoint a Supreme Court justice because it's a lifetime position. You can't get voted out. It's a lifetime appointee, right? They leave when they're ready, right? On the other hand, even when the lovely Neek says, can I name one? Not only can she not name it, she don't even care.
I did name it.
No,
you named the case. You didn't name the one person because it's a trick.
You didn't name.
You can't name one.
Who threw it out?
It's a majority rule.
That's the point of the appointment.
Can you name that?
No, I'm not challenging you. I'm not saying that. I'm just as an example. You're just supporting my reasoning because I agree with the qualifications. I agree all of that, but I'm saying when it comes, it's like I used to tell my cousin. He says, "Man, they ain't paying nothing for these jobs." What that got to do with you getting up going to look for one? Who told you they wasn't hired? That's what I used to tell him. He said, they're not hiring now. I said, who told you they wasn't hiring? Which means he wasn't looking
Your
for
point
it.
is a lot more. It's whenever anyone questions this, it's on the individual. What are you actually doing as the individual? Has it personally affected you?
Right. Because
maybe if it's actually revolved or impacted your life in any way. And if it has, then your points and opinions are now a little bit more valid. Okay.
That's all I'm talking about, man. Like I told the guy, I don't want to know why water wet. I just want to drink it when I get thirsty, right? So the idea here is we can cut up, we can identify, we can look at all of that. But the bottom line, how does it affect you as an individual, your family, then your community, and then the society at large? This is what we need to look at. Like Dr. John was saying, Plessy versus Ferguson, Brown versus the Board of Education. What did one have really to do with the other? What was really represented there versus what was actually taught in school versus what was actually misrepresented as he talked about it in the miseducation of the Negro, Carter G. Woodson. These are the things. See, that's why being black ain't enough. But then if the person's saying just because you black, that's not enough, then they need to be able to qualify why being black ain't enough. Beyond rhetoric, beyond stereotype, and smooth cliches. That's all I'm saying.
I have a question.
See this book right here?
Mm-hmm.
See, this brother here is beyond black. He go beyond just being black, entertaining race.
I have a question of, do you think white people, Spanish people, when they are dealing with someone who's not of their race, you don't think they always choose theirs no matter what? You don't think they be on point with theirs?
I don't want to go
and
first.
we're not?
Easy. Dr. John or CKQ, y'all go because it's too easy for me. I don't want to go first.
I think she was asking you.
Oh, you asking me? Oh, repeat that again. You said, do I think that they're not going to look out for their own?
Yeah, I said you don't think that you saying that because I agreed with the symbolism and from the get-go. But what I'm saying is that you were saying that just because somebody's black first, we shouldn't just, I feel like we always are not saying black first as far as coming together. That's what I think of it as.
Okay.
So that's why I was saying, like, you don't think that the other races that we have in the world right now are not on point with whoever they, that look like them? We are the only ones that are not. We always accept other people. We always fighting for other people, but nobody ain't really ever fighting for us.
But Tack was actually agreeing with that.
I was agreeing with that, right?
From what I'm thinking, because I would, if anything, I was the one kind of going against that, and he was saying more. Sometimes there's a symbolism behind, I guess, helping out a black person in that aspect.
Sometimes you just got to do it because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But then sometimes you got to look for the qualifications and just disregard that. That's what he was. That's more what he was talking about.
Yeah.
He went, in this particular case here, he was just saying, like, if you want to appoint her as, she black, you want to appoint her, okay, then why? And if you think she's qualified, okay, that'd be the reason. But if she's not qualified, if only reason you're gonna do it or you're gonna be against it, then why are you against it? And how does it affect you? Like, can you say one thing that she gonna do that can really affect your life? Has there ever been anything that
I said it was a symbol from the beginning? So no, I understand that part. I just feel like we are not always be one first. We're always something else first before we're black first sometimes. So that's
even in this appointment, we something else first. We a symbol first and black second.
Right.
We're not even first in this. But to go back to the original question that was posed, should the black community be outraged? No, because we get to put one more thing on our belt that a black person, a black female now can say that was accomplished, that represents black in general. But how can we get the younger generation to take this and run with it to where they're not a symbol, where they are actually, they do this because now the little black girl see this, and the positive behind this is you can get away from these Instagram models and having these girls look at that bullshit and have them focus on some women some classy one. Because the way that they conduct themselves is classy. I'm not going to take nothing away from them. The way that they have positioned themselves in life, that's strategic. That's awesome. And so instead of running around here seeing if you can remove some fucking fat from your stomach and put it in your fucking ass, why don't you see if you can't go to the library and put some in your fucking brain? Why don't you do that? And learn that you are more than what people say you are, and that aesthetics only get you so far. And that one day the aesthetics is gonna go away and ain't nobody gonna pay you no fucking attention. So what did you do in life? What mark did you make?
No doubt.
Focus more on that instead of getting a fucking like on
let
Instagram
me,
for twerking.
Let me get Henry in here. Henry, you hear me? All right, you could go ahead and talk. No, we don't hear you. No.
Go to the settings.
Yeah, go to settings, look at your audio, and see where your mic is connected to. So your headset does your headset have an automatic cutoff feature once it pulls up? There we go.
There you go.
Man, that's CKQ, man. He's a technician. Damn.
My
Man,
bad,
he was a
forgot.
nerd in high school.
There it is.
Oh, okay.
I forgot. So you see actually playing online and stuff.
I'm a 6'2" lame. Okay. 6'2".
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that was on my fault. Like I forgot my actual mic. Like there's a built-in mic in it, and then there's this mic. I forgot to add back on. That's a boom mic. That's why.
Okay. What's going on, my man?
I'm doing good, man. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. Give me 1 second. I'm just gonna read this and then we'll get to you. All right. Symbolism is one of the pitfalls in the community. From Obama to Kamala Harris to this Black Supreme Court justice, all nothing burgers.
I agree.
I don't know. I think I gotta disagree with that a little bit, just because I think the symbolism was still good. The people that were brought up there were just not the people selected by the Black people. Like I think we as Black people, if we selected, and that's why me personally, I just think that we as Black people need to start getting a little bit more involved in local elections and start understanding what's going on within our communities. Because at that point in time, we can actually raise someone up from our own communities and see them as a president, because we know their values, we understand who they are, but we don't give a crap about any kind of local elections or anything beyond that until it's a really big election. And then it's kind of like, oh, but none of these people represent us. Man, the guy that was right in your backyard that you didn't even give a crap about represented you, but you didn't care enough to actually go to the polls or learn about this guy.
That's what I'm saying, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I'm not even saying I'm perfect for this. I'm just starting to understand this a little bit more now, that I need to start actually going to my own backyard and seeing what's going on around here in my own neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But Henry, what's going on, my man? Talk to me. Henry, you still there?
Oh, like yeah, like I'm here, but as you guys are talking, I hear you talking, then it comes in again afterwards. So it's like you're coming.
Oh, you probably still have your YouTube channel open.
Oh, let me close that. Hold on, let me see. All right, now is that better?
Yeah, probably it's gonna be better.
Perfect. Now. Okay, that's fine. All right, my bad. Yeah, like
a whole tech department by yourself. And what I need you to do now is go ahead and
engineer, man.
And that's just not the reverberation because of double mic feedback. Okay.
That is the thing.
That was all on my end. Yeah, right? It was. I kept hearing him twice. I'm like, why am I hearing him twice? But no, I just chimed in now. Like I heard what you said. It's a hard one because, like you said, like we're in a land where we aren't wanted, right? And then it always feels like the few of us that rise up to that very top on that cream, they change. You know what I mean? It's like they change on us. Like they stop being Black and say, "This is what I see now. My bank account says this. I know where I came from, but my bank account says this now." You see what I'm saying? Now that dictates how they move and how they change. Like I feel Obama was like needed. Like I'm glad that we had a black president while I was alive. But like you said, they blocked him almost everything he tried to actually do. They blocked him on a lot of stuff. And I was like, damn, but now you have his like right-hand man running in later. He's blatantly saying, I'm gonna do this. I'm putting someone black in. Obama couldn't say I'm putting someone in black because then there'd been a whole like someone like they would have pushed back so much harder. But a white man says it's some pushback, but it's not as bad, right? You know what I mean? Because then if he does, it's like, oh, now you're just choosing blacks only because you're black. But he does it, like I said, it seems okay, but I'll be honest, I was expecting more out of a vice president. She hasn't really been doing anything. She's been quiet. She's just been like quiet. You know what I mean? Like
she a symbol.
I don't see her. Yeah, so I'm saying like, yeah,
She's
exactly. I was like, yeah, I was happy for her, but I was like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, you just been quiet for this first year. You just been just I mean, like she shows up ways and then she's gone. So I'm like, this one I feel was like it made no sense.
So
like,
Henry,
no, I'm
so
sorry.
Henry, let me ask you.
CJ Kyle actually had a pretty good saying on the whole Kamala Harris. Is that who we're talking about? Right?
Yeah.
Right now? Yeah. So he actually made a pretty good point. CJ, if you're free, come up and explain what you think of Kamala Harris because it was pretty good. But go ahead, Tack.
So I was going to ask you, Henry. So, what did or didn't Mike Pence do as vice president?
Mike Pence, that guy was just, from what I saw, he was just going to be like my figurehead.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
He said what was
That's
told.
cool.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
cool.
he said what was told to him.
Okay.
Honestly, he had no kind of inputs. He just showed up too, just waved. I was like, Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
all right. What did or what didn't Joe Biden do as vice president?
Same thing.
Okay, so that's what Kamala Harris doing, right? So hang on. So what I'm saying is, if we can establish the previous practices, obligations of vice presidents and their roles, so we can contrast and not say Kamala Harris needed to be Superwoman as vice president and Obama needed to be Superman as president, right? They're not the first, okay? They're not the premier, right? So that means that we have to gauge it on something. We gauge it on the history and the practices of people that was in that position previously, unless we're going to say once you're black in that position, it's a new role. Then they could be the new role of that position, right?
And you're right.
Other than that, we have to be fair in our observation of it to say, okay, she's waving, she's not saying much, she's leaving the stage, and then I ask you about two vice presidents, and I can go on at least 20 straight.
Yeah, this is
and
true.
You would probably say the same thing.
Yeah, but what? Because as you said that, like it hit me. What I'm thinking everybody is expecting of her is what Obama's wife was actually out there really doing, right? I think all of us really expected her to pick up where his wife, when she was doing all this stuff as his wife, technically she was more like him a VP, right? That's where I think that comes in from, where, you know what I mean, like Obama and his wife was doing a lot of good things.
Okay.
His wife was like very active, right? A very active first lady trying to get things done. So personally, I felt that. I thought she was gonna kind of grab that and run with that too. You know what I mean? But lately, like I said, she is in that role, but she's just doing like everyone else has like done. So I can't get mad at it then.
No. So one of the things Dr. King expressed in terms of why he wouldn't take an official appointment from the White House was there's no way under appointment of a position that he could do what he does. So we use the example, or you brought up the example of Obama's wife, Michelle. Cool. We can go all the way back to each wife. Each one of the president's wives were out there doing something, whether they was doing it for black people or not. They were doing things that as a vice president, they wouldn't have been able to do because they don't have the appointment.
I get you as that. Yeah.
They aren't prescribed right?
Yeah, they don't have like that lockdown on
Yeah,
them. Okay.
so it
Yeah.
looks like, hey, why didn't you? Hey, why did see? And I'm glad you bringing that point up because I'm not. It's not just me and you talking about it. We're just discussing it in a broader picture when it comes to conversations and other discussions. Because what people do, they aren't as fair. And I'll just say this: they aren't as fair and objective as many of you guys on this panel are, and that's why I love this. And like my man CKQ, he's like, if I have to hold a panel, I'm gonna hire him as the moderator. I'm gonna let him run it, man, right? Because this is the thing, right? Nobody's trying to be smarter than the person. We're just bringing up, what about this side, or was this considered along with that, without me even disagreeing? And so when it comes to Kamala Harris, I couldn't even tell you what a vice president is supposed to be doing. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah,
I
it's
can't.
true. It's true. It's true.
So,
Now that you put it in that light, yeah, I mean, like it's true.
So I don't know if she's doing her job or not. I just voted for her because she black.
And you know what's funny is that's how we. I mean, that's what it is because we don't have. How can I say this right? We're so freaking starved for someone that looks like us at the highest office. We'll take almost anything.
But
that's
it's not
how
even
it feels.
you know what? I wanna put a little different spin on it. Just because hearing what Tack was saying, I don't think it's so much that we're starved. It's that the same expectation that the world puts on us, we put on ourselves. Like meaning, like the second we see there's been other vice presidents, they didn't do anything. There's been other presidents, they didn't do anything. But the second we saw a black person in there, they suddenly had they needed to be able to, if they aren't carrying the world on their back, they have failed us as black people. They have failed us black people.
Like I'm glad that you actually said
vice
that.
president, they didn't do anything.
No, I mean I'm glad that you said that because we already knew him coming in as a I totally got it that he came in as a black president. Like I said before, while he was in, he got blocked on a lot of things. And I already knew he couldn't do everything that he promised because none of them do. But like you said, because he was black, I was like, come on, man, just push a little harder, try for this. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be honest. But what he did do, yeah, exactly. But then I had to actually say, because he's black, the game is changed now because they watch what he do more. So that's why I was saying he can't do exactly anything for exactly blacks only. Yeah, making sure that whatever I'm doing encompasses everybody, but I'm really targeting y'all. But everyone else sees it as if we all gonna have it. But this really for like y'all. That's how it seems to me. How he always moved. He's like, I'm doing this because I have to do it this way, just so they don't say I'm being racist or something. I'm like it made no sense to me. Yeah, he did for other people. Yes, I'm not saying that he didn't. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. He was in a spot where I said, I get it. The first black man, we wanted him to do things for us only. I felt that, but I knew in my heart, in my mind, he can't. You know what I mean? He just can't do it because this country is not going to allow it. It's just not going to allow that. You know what I mean? Like, maybe I'm wrong there, but I'm like, I don't think so.
I mean, a lot of stuff we can do for ourselves, though.
Go ahead, John.
There's a lot of stuff that we can do for ourselves. Could do a better job for ourselves. But I mean, the whole when you look at, I'm with this the CJK experience.
That's CJ.
I ain't like Obama as a president. I'm gonna say it. I don't see there was nothing significant that he did for blacks. Nothing significant at all. Nothing. But it's one group they all do something for. And you know the one I'm talking about. The alphabet people.
Yeah.
They get in there, boy. Yeah. When I'm turning 60, I might put on the dress and run. Because by that time, I dare you to say something. Then what are you? Whatever I want to be today. Why? What you saying? Day president. That's what I'm gonna call myself. Day president.
But Dr. John, I like what you alluded to earlier in the conversation where you were saying like sometimes when it happens that it's more symbolic in terms of the placement, because it's obvious with Joe Biden. He hasn't even been in there that long. So how can you appoint 26 highly qualified black women, right? Unless all you do is interview, right? So and the closest one to that is only appointed a handful. So I like what you said, that when that happens, that may happen for the moment, but what typically happens is that's inspiration for other people that look like you to really come qualified and compete against one another for the position, and sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes, it starts off as the butler, and then all of a sudden it's someone else in a different position, and then it's and nobody wants to go through that, right? And I understand that in the moment of time we all wouldn't be slaves. Ain't no way I would have stayed on that plantation. 80% of the people would have stayed on that plantation. The minute they said,
ain't nobody got time for that.
Right. The minute they say we was free, half of them turned around and asked for a job at the plantation. Okay. So the reality of it is, or the practicality of it is, we have to just look at it and say, okay, maybe not this time. Okay. Maybe they aren't as dark as we want. Remember, everybody crazy, or was people crazy about Rosa Parks, but she was selected because of her fair skin and her nice hair. She wasn't the first and the only one going through that, and she wasn't treated that bad by other standards for not getting off of that bus, because that whole thing was orchestrated. But nobody is saying, why didn't they get the woman from Aunt Jemima's syrup bottle and have her do it? Well, it was the reason why. Part of it was the marketing. Part of it was the attraction. Part of it was the zeal or the appeal of Rosa Parks at that time, who was fine as hell. So this is just what it is, until we can get to a place where no matter how you look as a black woman, ain't nobody making you get off the bus. That's what I'm saying. The evolution of things is real. It just is.
It sounds like it's that brown people back thing still.
Look, there's Spanish guys in my neighborhood where I used to live at. They did all the landscaping. And then, you get cool with them. I mean, you act cool with them sometimes. I'm like, yo, why you don't hire some black teenagers? And he'd be like, he told me one summer, he says, man, I don't think they really want to do it. I said, well, just hire one that don't really want to do it. And then the next summer, hire one that want to do it. Because my point was, hire one. You're not going to make me believe every Spanish kid that come through here is working hard, because this turnover rate every other week, you got different ones. So some of them must not work as hard as the others. Mm-hmm. My point was hire one that even don't want to work, fire him. And then in your mind, you're willing to hire a black kid, and you're going to wind up hiring one that really want to do the job. That's all I'm saying, man. Stop putting so much on us.
There's one simple solution.
I want to hear this.
Economics.
Group economics.
If we can't even get on the same page as black
Thank
people.
you. I was just gonna say that. I was like, that's me like that right there. That ain't gonna happen.
I mean, listen.
It ain't gonna happen.
Let's be real though. Again, like I was saying before, there's far more black people. YouTube, like this big Kevin Samuels boom, I want to say, has brought more black people together, now interacting with each other, both black men and women. It started off as a conversation on dating, but now it's if you could look all over YouTube, it's splintered into talking about real estate, talking about building generational wealth,
No doubt.
Talking about all these different things.
Absolutely.
So like what he said, he just started a conversation, and now where it's going, honestly, there's some people that are very cynical about like where the turnout of the black community in general and where we're going to be in, like, I want to say like 10, 15 years. I'm pretty like optimistic, to be honest with you. Because now more than ever, there's a lot of us constantly in contact, communicating.
That's
more
true.
than ever.
That is true.
More than ever.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like, we're now actually using the internet for what it was meant to. And we're saying, okay, this is the bad side of the internet. Let's start focusing our energy on the good side of the internet. Let's start communicating a little bit more. Let's start, oh, I like what you're doing over there. Can you show me that? And I'll show you this.
Absolutely.
You get what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like
Absolutely.
we're coming together and building a lot more. So I'm pretty like I think within the next couple of years, yo, Black community is gonna be a big, big driving force. I believe so. I believe.
Can I just mention something that's off topic for a
Go
minute?
for it. Yeah,
You
go for
don't
it.
mind? Okay, so I like discussing things that are actionable. Okay. I like going beyond the rhetoric. I like to get to some results, some solutions, or some actionable items that will have some measurable outcomes. Okay. Dr. John know what that talks means. It means money. He know it means money. All right. So here go one that I'm going to be pushing. All right. Everybody know about Google. Google's parent company is Alphabet. Google owns YouTube. So we know that. Google is the #1 search engine. We know that. All right, cool. Alphabet, the parent company of Google, yesterday announced a stock split, 20 for 1. Let me explain to you how that goes. One share of Google today costs 2,800 or 3,000, something between 2,800 and 3,000. Just one stock, one share. July the 15th, this year, 6 months from now, they're going to do a 20 for 1 conversion. They're going to take everybody's stock that they own. If you don't have none today, you can get one tomorrow. You can, however it goes, you can just get a fraction of one. Any whole entire ones, they're going to divide it by 20. So if you got one share of Google by January the 15th, just one, they're going to divide it by 20. And you're going to have 20 shares of Google, but that money is going to be split. So let's just use $3,000 as the number today for one share of Google. July the 15th or July the 1st, they're going to have something called a record date. On that record date, they're going to lock in the closing price of one Google stock. Let's say that day is $3,000. That following Monday, they're going to divide it by 20 into 3,000. 20 into that 3,000. 150. And everybody going to wake up Monday morning with 20 shares of Google at $150 a piece, and it's going to start selling on all of the markets for $150 a piece. Now, why am I saying that? Now you don't have to be a day trader. Now you don't have to be a swing trader. Now you already know about Google. Now black folks they're going to take my money and I'm just on all that apprehension and
Are you telling me to buy Google? Are you telling me to break my bank account? Are you telling me to take all my life savings and just throw it at Google? Is that what you're telling me right now?
Listen, this is a good run. Introduce yourself to the market and invest it. And here's why. In August of 2020, Tesla was going for $2,300. They did a stock split 4 to 1. The record date is the date that they published that they're going to use the price of a Tesla stock on that day to do the division. They did a 4 to 1, The record date that they use, Tesla stock was $1,700. They say that $1,700 closing date next week, we doing a 4 to 1. Everybody with one stock, I'm just using that to keep the math simple. They woke up Monday with 4 shares of Tesla, but they was worth $425 a piece. So you say effectively, that didn't give me one more penny than what I had. Effectively, it didn't. But
it makes more affordable.
It invited so many other people in that wish they could own stock, that didn't know about fractional shares, that wanted to get into the market, and they saw 425 as doable. Well, that was August 19th or so in 2020. Well, 2 weeks ago, Tesla was 1,100. It might be 800 something now, but it's going to go back up. So that means that the people who bought shares, whether it was after or before during that time, their money doubled. Apple did the same thing. What I'm saying to you is these are actionable items. This isn't rhetoric. Tupac not performing with Biggie somewhere at a hidden concert. No, this is real. That's what I like to talk about.
They're going 20 to 1.
20 to 1. 20 for 1. So I told my friend, I said, look, man,
that's nuts.
you want to start buying some Google, right? She says, well, I ain't got to, you don't need it. Just buy fractional shares for the next 6 months. And wherever you at, they're going to do a 20 for 1. Well, it don't matter. The math's still the same. Do you think for 5 earthly minutes that the price of Google at $150 a share going to stay that way in the next 12 months?
It's only $3,000.
See, that's something people can do. That ain't, it don't look right. The government watching. See, that's something. That's
you know what? I'm glad you said that. Do you know one thing that I cannot fucking stand? It's when they tell me, but what about the taxes? Fuck them goddamn taxes.
As they pay taxes,
Nigga, having to pay taxes is a
$15
fucking good problem
as they
to
pay
have.
taxes every time they walk in the store. See, that's that slave mentality.
That's that
man.
slave
I'm
mentality,
telling
bro.
you. And when we say that, we don't mean slave where the next ditch I can dig. What it means is you're denying yourself. See, people, a lot of us,
you got your own self under your own
there you
fucking
go.
oppression.
There you go. And they gotta tell you no. You telling yourself no.
It's kind of like when they're raising elephants.
Thank
they
you.
have them tied.
It's
They have
that chain
them tied
thing. Yeah.
Exactly. And as once they get bigger, they don't even have to.
They can
keep
break that easily.
around them. They can
break
easily.
it. But they think that they can't.
Because they don't believe they can.
And that's the biggest problem with black folks here. That's why I was like,
Well, I
he
found
hit
out
it
I
first.
could break that motherfucker, and I broke
No,
it.
I mean, but you understand though, that's the biggest problem. So that's why I said what the other guy said earlier. Our biggest problem is that we don't want to come together because, like you said, it's always like this like pocket watching. Like he's watching my pocket, you're watching his damn pocket. They want to argue. And what you just said right now, my homeboy is trying to get me into actually buying all this stuff here and there. I'm doing little pieces here and there. What you just said, I didn't know about, but I tell you what, tomorrow I'm calling tomorrow and say, hey man, look, I heard this on the so you might want to try this out. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna be kicking it hard about it myself, man. I'm gonna be doing videos about it, all that.
That's real affordable.
See, the thing is, man, I had a talk with a couple of the homies, couple of the OGs about a month or so ago. When I was a shorty out in the street pushing that poison, destroying communities, I had to fight people off to put them on. When I got a whiff of this non-indictable money, the police ain't looking for you, and niggas ain't sophisticated enough to steal it from you, nobody call and say, put me on.
No, because then that, well, okay, I'm not gonna say what you did in the past didn't take work, but it's a different kind of work now. You know what I mean? Like it's like you gotta change it up, and that's why I said when you said the fractional shares, as soon as you said that, and then Dr. John said it, the first thing that popped in my head, you said 150. I'm like, oh, that's fucking doable. But like you said, that slave mind. As soon as you said that, I say, well, then just don't buy them Jordans, right? Don't buy the iPhone.
Yeah.
Right. Like look. Don't buy that purse.
All right.
My Louis Vuitton. Like, don't buy that shit.
Absolutely.
Like don't. And when you say that, they get angry with you though. Like,
ain't no question. Ain't no
I've
question.
been there because they want the purse now. I'm like, but I'm trying to get you this purse later. Without like you buy this stuff now, it pays for it later. Some people just can't see that. So like I said, like
Absolutely.
I'm still a little like new to all that trading stuff. Like I don't really touch it as hard yet, but hearing that. Like that fractional share, I'm like, oh, I can do that like every month. Yeah, I could buy like a fractional share here and there. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like I could buy a little bit here and there. I'm like, yeah, like that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? Because like I'm at a point in life now where I'm comfortable, where I'm happy where I'm at, but I want to start doing things I never done.
Yeah,
like this thing.
Yeah,
what you put? It's an alphabet. Oh, okay.
Alphabet.
You know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, man, because
company or Google. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me say this. Let me throw this.
Invest in Google is what you're saying. Buy Google stock.
Yeah.
And just buy now. I'm a just throw a strategy out there. It's February the 1st, right? Okay, it's February the 1st.
That's second.
So here's what I told my friend. I said, this is what you do. You pay attention to the news. Any day where they saying the NASDAQ is down, the Dow is down, the S&P is down, more specifically the NASDAQ, because those big technical stocks, the FANG, the Facebook, the Apple, the Amazon, the Netflix, and the Google, the FANG or Alphabet, They represent a heavy index. They heavily weighted in the NASDAQ. When you hear the NASDAQ is down and they showing it red and they scaring the shit out of everybody, that's when you buy a fractional share of Alphabet. That's when you buy it. See, the idea here is here's the tripped out part. Everybody gets scared when the market go down, except Warren Buffett, except the people with the money. That's when they buy. See,
that's when the shit go on sale. That's our Black Friday.
See, and then the people that run away from it when it go down, they want to tell you what Warren Buffett said. Warren Buffett didn't run down the street. He ran to the fire sale and bought some when it was down. So I told her, look, this is what I would do if I was you. You do what you want. When you hear that it's down, buy $100 worth. Buy $50, $200 worth, and do it consistently for the next.
And like I said, that's that Jordans or that purse or whatever it is, like that Louis Vuitton coat. And me, like that's what I think. That's one of our biggest problems. I mean, like, because we know as a people we spend the most. That's why it's funny. Yeah, no, because it's true. Because like it's funny because me and my homeboy we always chop it up on this. I'm like, bruh, the hood is not poor. The people have a poor mindset because everyone comes into our areas and open shops and make money off of us, except for us. You know what I mean? Like that's the biggest trend. So they come in, set up shop, and we pay them. We paying them, and they're living nice, but we're still out there hurting. You know what I mean? Like I came from that, so now I'm glad. I'm in a better place. You know what I'm saying? But like that's a constant trend. I mean, like black people, we spend the most money on everything. We set trends. We set everything. Like we really do.
CKQ, I'm gonna throw this at you. You heard of the Dow Jones before, right? Okay, NASDAQ, Dow Jones, S&P. Here go a little more. I'm gonna throw a little more pepper on the fish. Here it go. John, you know this, so
I'm ready for the heat. Ready for the heat. Bring it.
It's the last part. All right, here it go. So after the stock split, okay, that's gonna make Google eligible to be admitted to the Dow Jones. Right now, it can't be admitted to the Dow Jones because it weighs too heavy. Once they do the stock split in July, it makes them eligible for the Dow Jones. So you might say, well, Todd, I don't care about the Dow. I'm just using an example. I don't care about the Dow Jones. What difference does that make? As long as they do the stock split within a year, I'm going to double my money anyway. Well, that part is probably true, but let me tell you why you care about it being admitted to the Dow Jones. Dow Jones is the index. It's the 30 highly weighted funds being traded, okay? If Google is added to the Dow Jones index as a result of them doing the stock split, every fund, every institutional fund, they have to buy up a whole bunch of gang of shares and stocks of that Google at that price.
They have
what is that going to do to our price?
That fucking price is going to shoot up.
Wow.
The price of them shares will easily
go straight up. They got to buy. They don't have
$1,000 or so dollars.
They don't have a choice. Whenever a company is admitted to something like the Dow Jones or the NASDAQ, right? All the indexes in there, they have to take that institutional money and buy so many of those shares.
So
as
it won't
part of their
monopolize.
and they go right up. So I'm just giving it
because it's got to keep that Dow's got to stay balanced at a certain level. You feel me?
That's it. I'm gonna shut up. That's all.
No. Feel free.
Like I didn't
come
know
by
that.
at any point in time.
See, that's what I mean by. That's why I say I understand what people saying when they talking about certain things. But what I do is I look for out from the rhetoric and the cliche and the stereotype, and I say, okay, all right, they not hiring. I say that to my cousin. Who told you they wasn't hired? I want to know that they not hiring next door. Who told you couldn't be hired? Well, what you mean? That means you ain't been looking for a job. Ain't nobody told you no.
This is true. This is true.
So that's it. That's actionable. That's doable. Who don't know Google? We on Google right now. We on Alphabet right now. They own YouTube. When I get my checks every month and my direct deposit, when I get my 1099s, that shit don't say YouTube. I got them. That should say Google Alphabet.
Okay.
I've been getting paid on it for 3 years.
I never did make it to the point where I started talking about them little the other little checks that I actually get from having ownership in these stocks that pay out dividends.
Oh, ain't no question.
I think I text somebody. I think I might have texted you. I'm just sitting at home and I went to the mailbox. One particular company still sent a paper check out. And that shit was like $250. Like, that ain't no money.
That's all right.
I'm like, motherfucker, if you knew how I got that bitch.
That's what I'm saying.
Nigga, I played it so motherfucking smooth. Hey, I motherfucking hit that damn strike price just right. Got to sign the motherfucking shares. And then turn around and held on to them bitches through the fucking payout period. Then turn around and double down on the fucking market. Nigga, what?
It's
Man,
crazy.
there's money all over that bitch. Once you learn how to do it, boy, you catch money all kinds of ways.
Crazy, man.
Let me ask you this: would you recommend buying in right now, or wait till the Nasdaq actually drops? Because right now the Nasdaq did go up.
Who you talking to?
You, I think that.
Oh, okay. No, I would buy when it's red. I would buy when it's red. Yeah, I wouldn't buy it unless it's red. You want it to be down. You want to buy it when they scaring the shit out of anybody that put it on that channel.
Yeah.
That's when you want to buy.
Yeah.
And if you don't, I'm just saying the proverbial line to buy to purchase, when you walk down there, you know who you're going to see? Warren Buffett. All those rich white men that people say control the system and all that. That's who in line when it's red. And just buy a piece. You might not have 3,000 at once. When I say you, I don't mean you. I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, thinking about buying
share, right?
Yeah,
and then
buying 3.
Wait till it comes. Don't ever buy it while it's green.
Never.
Because what does that mean? Red goes to green. That's how you make out.
And green goes to red.
Right. You ain't going to do it that way. You want to buy it. You want to put yourself in the position that by time July, I think it's the 1st or the 7th, that they're going to have what's called the record date. It's a hard date. They're going to say this day when they close, that's what we paying. That's what they're going to do. You heard you game. Do you do any game in Activision, any of that stuff?
I mean, I used to play Overwatch, so I used to.
Okay, all right. Henry, do some gaming, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know that Activision was just bought up.
Yeah.
Okay.
By Sony.
Yeah. All right.
Sony brought up Bungie, and then Microsoft paid like $70 billion for like the other company. I was like, yo, they are not playing. They're not.
Now I don't play no games, but I follow mergers and acquisitions, right?
Yeah, they buying a lot of stuff.
When they published that they was buying them, all I do is I go to the public information, right? That they posted. They said they was paying $95 a share. I run right to Activision. That joint was $72.50. All right, give me 50 to them real quick. That joint went straight to $88 and some change, and I cashed out. Okay. See, that's what I call free money. That's what I call free money.
Yeah, but he do it the right fucking way, bro. Like you get it. This ain't something
Like he be on it,
on day trading and shit. They just come in when it's low and it. Nah, nigga, it's more to it than that. You got to do your fundamentals. You got to do your fundamentals. When
there
you
do
go, fundamentals,
there you go.
Then you can make a smart decision.
There you go.
Man, ain't it a risk? Hell no, nigga. It's risky for you to do it.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not risky when I do it because nigga, I'm doing it based off an educated decision. It's not. I'm guessing. It's not. I'm trying to time it, nigga. These signals mean something, and then when them damn signals matching up with the fuck what I read, I'm going to do it. Like, oh, and don't let me see a fucking golden cross in the metro.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm buying the world. I'm sitting here, and that day I might sit there for a little bit. Yeah, for a little bit.
Dr. John, I posted Monday, right? I posted Monday. CKQ, can you bring my YouTube page up in a separate window?
Of course.
Yeah, it's just TAK space Williams.
I believe I'm going. Videos. Let's do this.
I go to video, right? So the one, the purple one, the first, yeah. What do that say?
Tuesday, February 1st, 2022, I made 1723 day trading.
What the one before that say? That's Monday,
What
right?
Monday? Yep, Monday. $1,632 day trading.
Right. And what's the one before that? Yeah.
It's a good one. In one day, January 21st, which wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
$2,271.
Okay, come down to Peloton, the second
Peloton.
row. Right there. Right there. What does that say?
$4,000. How I made $4,000 today day trading.
Right. See, I puts it up there. It's not a game.
Wow.
It's not a game. It's not a game. You're gonna see my clicks on that joint. See.
Boy,
Yeah,
you
it's
have
not
to
a
coming
game.
in and out them trades when you talk.
Yeah, I'll be scalping their ass, Dr. John. I scalp the hell. Hey, Dr. John, I look like a crackhead. I go up 23 cents and close. Boom. But see, it's 23 cents times 1,000 shares. So that's $230.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Neek, no worries. Neek, I know you have to go. Honestly, I'm probably gonna be closing the show down pretty soon. Honestly, this is a great conversation, and I am really into this. This is a lot of, thank you for all this knowledge, really. But alas, I still do have to work. I'm not you guys yet. I'm still stuck in the system.
No, I know, but what we talked about a few minutes ago, you could use that information, right?
Oh yeah. This is
because I'm gonna be pushing that message, man.
I'm gonna clip this. I'm gonna clip this segment, and I'm gonna start reposting it. You said when you know what? I'll look it up. I'm not gonna
look. This is what I'm gonna ask you to do if you don't mind, right?
Yeah, of course.
Anytime in the future you want to have a segment where you bring me on and we get into this current opportunity that everybody's going to be able to identify with because it's Google. We're using YouTube. It's the stock split, what it means to newcomers, how it's going to be affordable, and we can look at the past examples of the Teslas and the Apples and other stock splits and where they are now and what that opportunity is moving forward because it's going to happen. This is not some 10 years from now.
I believe it.
You set it up. I'll come on here and I'll go into it.
We're gonna set it up for sure. Listen, this one is greatly helping me. Two is gonna help a lot of people. It's going to help a lot of people. So the more the merrier, in my opinion.
Appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Like, wow.
Okay. Yeah.
And everybody always screaming about Warren Buffett. Yeah, Warren Buffett is cool. He's great. But that's Berkshire Hathaway. And one share of that costs $480,000 for one. So I don't know why you keep screaming his name because he ain't going to let you get a dime of that damn money.
Better get your own.
On that note, closing comments before we wrap up the panel.
Oh, I just want to say thank you, man. You know I always appreciate being on here, man.
Listen, I appreciate you coming on.
Great people.
Hey, Todd, stick around, bro.
Oh, in the back. Okay, all right.
Yeah. Henry, Neek, feel free to stick around.
Yeah,
in the back
y'all stick around.
Yeah. But other than that, we're gonna close out like we usually do.
Hey, everybody, how you doing? It's Dr. John R., formerly known as Black Wall Street Trading. You can find me on Black Wall Street Trading LLC on YouTube, or you can also find me as behavioral _consultant on IG. And this mic needs tightening.
A little bit. There we go. We got Neek.
Hi, Nick and Knight from Three Married Ladies Opinion. Please make sure you check me and Clement out tomorrow on IG Live. We're going to have a discussion on commitment, y'all. So make sure y'all hit that. Thank you, Clement.
Of course. It's gonna be a great conversation, people. So make sure you tune in.
10 p.m.
10 p.m. And we got the TAC.
Yes, sir. I just want to say thank you again. I appreciate this brother for having me on his panel. You guys subscribe to his channel. The best moderator on YouTube today.
I appreciate that.
All I got to say.
No doubt.
Thank you, Tack, for the free game, man. I'm gonna clip it, and a lot of people out there is gonna be very much thanking you. And yes, for
exactly.
sure.
Hey guys, just thanks for having me on here. Like, I'm learning so much with y'all. I'm happy just to be here. So anytime you have something, just let me know. I want to just chime in, just listen, just actually gain some more knowledge. You know what I mean? So
Definitely.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And to everyone, if you're still watching, if you're going to be watching the replay, thank you again for tuning in. If you haven't done it already, hit that like and subscribe button. Subscribe to Tack Williams. Subscribe to Dr. John. Subscribe to Three Married Ladies, Neek. Guys, do us all a favor and keep watching content. Keep talking about this. Keep having great conversations like this. And keep bringing this community together. Because we're all we have. And we've already started a good push. And let's just keep it going. But until then, we will see you next week.
If we're doing everything right, I think we should be vetting our wives, like go to their parents, go to their fathers.
They know they shouldn't have let me start speaking my mind in the booth. Start speaking the truth. Might get shot.
I think you're just saying, okay, actions have consequences, and I'm not going to support this person's actions. Like, you don't have to cancel them and say, like, I'm never, I hate you.
Innocent lives have to die.
I. But the whole thing is men are I also. That man was on the other side doing the exact same thing, and his decision with his eyes was to walk away.
Inside your soul.
Now we can paint the perfect picture without belittling each other. Because under God's system,
We are equipped to handle that responsibility, but not every man is fit to handle that responsibility.
I done seen Flint, Michigan,
And it's just being
cities. They pissing in project buildings that got a roof that leaks, resulting in missing ceilings. Hard to sleep. Children going to schools dealing issues deep.
So I think society does make it more difficult for short men, but I don't think that it's impossible that they could find someone.
And instructing you to do your part. It ain't hard to see they trying to keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks. Cops shooting blacks as if they get a token from God. School rob you with needed resources.
Is the weaker vessel and the more vulnerable
Absolutely.
vessel.
100%.
You don't look at the man like, oh, poor son, you were violated. No, you like, bruh.
And nobody they shift my stick like some cars. And when you're lonely in your darkest thoughts, come, I know it's hard, but God shines his light on all that play their part. And it's the start.
Put myself in a situation where I can only rely on a man. Like, if I'm married and being a stay-at-home mom, I need to have a backup in case anything happens. I can't only rely on him. You know what I'm saying?
A flower will grow once you plant the seed inside your soul.
I'm a poet, and the best part of me shows it. Here to speak the message of what is known, but not what it takes to expose it. Listen closer as I take you on a mental path. See divisions, the math, hoping